Oh, man, I love the game of golf. It was a beautiful day out here today, wasn't it, baby girl? You didn't think it was a nice day today?
Well, I am sweating all over, so no, I didn't really think it was.
Well, I mean, you got to drive the car. You got to drive the car, and it did have the hood on it, so it kept the sun off of you.
Yeah, but it had no air conditioning.
Well, okay, fair enough. So, we're going to get something to eat, right?
Of course.
Cool.
And you're obviously paying, right?
Always. Always. Man, golf is a fun sport. Hey, I drove the ball pretty well today, don't you think?
Pretty well to the far right, yeah.
But, okay, even though I went right, my iron game was really good, and I was able to fight my way out of that.
Yeah, but you hit it into the sand, and you did that quite often, might I add.
Even when I went in the sand, my chip was really tight, so I was able to get out of there and get close to the flag.
After 3 times.
You have to admit, though, my putting game was really good, and it saved me a lot of the times from all of the bad hits I had out in the fairway.
And it only took you 11 holes. Listen, until you get a good golfing game, I'm going to keep giving you shit.
I'm improving. I mean, since I've gotten started, haven't I got a lot better?
Yes, you've gotten better since your injury.
We don't have to talk about my shoulder, but I mean, that's another reason why it's coming along slowly, but, you know, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it.
Sure.
Hey, baby girl, I'm about to go hop in the shower. When I get out, we head out to the volleyball tournament, okay?
Okay. Oh, can I use my the computer?
Oh, yeah, of course, baby. Of course. Hey, baby girl.
Yeah.
Repetition breeds familiarity.
Familiarity breeds comfort. Comfort breeds complacency or success. We're going for the latter rather than the former.
All right, good deal. Handle business.
Okay.
Hey, remember you're a beast out there. Act like it.
I will.
All right.
Let me see what he got in these emails. Spam. Overdue bills. Not surprised. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Young nigga got it bad 'cause he's broke. What is this? Sarah? Linda? Becky? Amber? Amy? Molly? Ginger? Heather? Karen? Oh, hell no. We are not having this. No, I don't want no Pancake Tuesdays. Oh, God, delete. No, I do not want your lemon bars, Karen. Oh, my dad's gonna get...
Railroad Show with DatNinjaOnSpreaker.com. Caller, what's your name, where you calling from, and what do you want to talk about?
This is Tiffany Poodle in Portland, representing the city of roses. How you doing?
Tiffany Poodle in Portland, what's up?
Yes, sir. So forget my voice.
Girl, you
I
good.
smoke those left-handed cigars.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a left-handed cigar, allegedly, and it's legal where you at, so it's all good. Hey, Tiffany, thank you so much for calling in. Hey, look, I said this when I met you. Hey, look, thank you for your participation in the chat room. The one time I got to guest host Doug's show, you tore it up. I go back and listen to that show every now and again, you know, just
that's awesome. That's awesomeness. Yeah.
I was laughing my ass off when you did that little Michael Jackson parody. That shit was funny as hell. I just want to thank you for that. You know, now that I'm able to do it in front of everybody. Thank you for your participation. I truly appreciate it. There's nothing more I appreciate than a quick-witted woman. You know what I'm saying? I like funny women and quick-witted women, so I recognize that in you, and I appreciate that.
Box checked on that one. Yes, sir.
No doubt. Hey, what's your recap on the weekend or anything you want to talk about? The floor is yours. You got it.
Man, I enjoyed myself, and shouts out to Bear for making my birthday dream come true. He financed the whole shindig, and I dedicated Thursday night to him just so, you know, to wet his feet and prepare him for what was going to come about, right? So we met at Twin Peaks. We went unicorn hunting. It was lovely.
Whoa. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause. Could you clarify unicorn hunting, please, for our listeners?
Oh, from time to time, Bear and I like to hold company with a lady that's considered a unicorn.
Meaning you see her once and never see her again?
Yeah, that's the magical thing about it.
Yes, ma'am!
That's magical. You never hear from them again.
Oh, wait,
Everyone leaves fulfilled. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful, you know what? Shouts out to Bear. I'm dropping a bomb for Bear right about now. Salute, sir.
Yeah, I can break down in Tampa too. I play Madden, I drink beer, smoke weed, I give oral presentations. He's only made his plate 3 times in 3 years, and that's my word.
Well, damn. I can give you another round of applause and another goddamn bomb.
Drop a bomb for me.
Tiffany, you know what? Bear gets a bomb, and now you're getting 1, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I love that y'all get me. Shout out to Jay Fish and Georgia Peach of their upcoming nuptials. They showed us love, picked us up, took us to the 617 bar. Shouts out to Chief. Magical evening with him. All the poodles, all the dogs. I love all you Negroes, even Grego. Nice meeting you, Ninja. And it's just all love. I can't wait till next year. But I'm coming tight and I'm coming right next year.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, enjoyed you as well. Had a great time. Allegedly shared some left-handed cigars. And allegedly you roll a extremely tight joint. Allegedly.
Oh, I'm gifted in a lot of things. Yes, sir.
No doubt. No doubt. I definitely appreciate meeting you. I had a great time. Hey, if there was a take you took away from the weekend, I know you discussed, is there anything you would leave? Okay, if you were giving a pitch to someone who didn't make it, what would you say to them about the TDSS weekend?
I'm just saying about the camaraderie. I've never felt any affinity towards someone I hadn't met in flesh and bone, you know, and just meeting y'all face to face and the love I got. I'm cool with chicks. I'm kind of like a guy's girl, so to speak. So for me to be cool with chicks, you guys get me. There's nothing threatening about me. I'm just me, and y'all get it. And just being accepted, because you know we all are on one type of one accord anyway, because we listen to the Doug Stewart Show, right?
No doubt.
So there's already a je ne sais quoi about all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you put that all in one room and you feel that love, I mean, it's amazing. Seeing black people doing beautiful things, it was amazing. It was magical. Bear is house hunting, so he lost his mind. He wants to move there and all that. So what we're gonna have to work on first is you people's customer service and speediness before y'all get me hook, line, and sinker. But we can work on that too.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, I appreciate the call. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for
asking me to.
Oh, no doubt. I appreciate your time in the chat room. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate everybody that listens. But I thank y'all for, I requested calls today because I want a reaction on the weekend and what everybody felt about it. And, man, y'all obliged, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for calling in. Anything you want to leave with.
Okay, just like those other 31 teams in the league who are not 4-0, I'm gone.
Oh, damn. You had to end it on a Kansas City note? Okay, I'll still give her a round of applause. Thanks for calling in, Tiffany. She had to end it.
Do you have strong opinions and you're looking for a way to express them? Are you tired of carbon copy sports radio that infests the airwaves? Do you have creative concepts and ideas that you want to share with the world? Then this is not the commercial for you. This commercial is all about
Kinko's University.
That's right. Kinko's University gets you prepared for the podcasting world when you don't have the chops for it. If you're one of the many people looking to get into podcasting, but you just don't have the skill, Kinko's University is the university for you.
I want to do a podcast, but where do I start? And what do I talk about? Kinko's University.
Don't worry, here at Kinko's University, the first thing we teach you about is OPP. That's right, other people's perspective. So you can always have something to talk about, getting it from another source.
Podcasting looks fun, but do I really have to do all that research and show prep? Kinko's University.
Absolutely not. Here at Kinko's, we have classes like No Preparation 101, where we teach you to get around all of that pesky show prep because we know you don't have the time.
I wonder what the best time slot is to get the most listeners. Kinko's University.
Don't worry, here at Kinko's we have a class called Recycling Ideas 101, where you can find a time slot that works and just jump in that slot to try to make it happen for yourself.
Kinko's University. I want to come up with new content and subject matter, but I'm not that creative. Kinko's University.
You'll also take Regurgitation 101, which will help you come up with other people's subject matter that you can recycle and make your own. That's right, here at Kinko's we teach you how to get around hard work, getting new wrinkles in your brain, and having to work hard at your craft. Come to Kinko's, where you can take these top courses with top teachers. Most people that go to Kinko's graduate with Kinko's degrees, that's right, as master copiers. Kinko's University, for the skilled impaired.
Kinko's University is not a real university and is not accredited. You don't actually learn any skills. You just learn how to mimic people who have actual skill.
Underground Road Show with that ninja. All aboard, have your tickets ready because the train has arrived. Delayed or on time, it's time to get on board.
What's going on, fam? This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that ninja. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. Man, let's jump right into it. The title of today's show is Execute. I didn't do a good job of executing my desired time on the start of the show. I should kick off no later than 5 Central every day, but things happen, life happens. So I apologize. I actually wanted to get in a certain amount of time before the game started. So we'll see how far the show goes, how much I'll go into the game. A lot of people that listen to the show know that I don't really care for the volume on the game. So a lot of people don't necessarily care for the commentators. So those who are in that frame of mind, feel free to listen. Thank you for coming aboard and rolling with me. The title of today's show is Execute. Execute. To execute is to carry out or put into effect a plan, order, or course of action. Once again, to execute is to carry out or put into effect a plan, order, or course of action. I'll discuss what teams I felt executed very well in the Final Four and the Women's Championship game, and I'm going to start out the show right there. And traditionally, for right now anyway, mic check, mic check. I don't see anybody saying I sound crazy, so I guess I can have a little faith in StreamYard at this point concerning the microphone. So we're just going to roll with it. I don't see any problems. I know there's a slight delay. Okay. Nobody saying anything about volume. Let's go ahead and get into it. The Final Four. And, of course, we have the men's final today. We have Houston versus Florida. And along those lines, and, of course, we have Florida fans on the train, namely JBJ. We have people that have picked Houston, myself, ABM. God almighty. They're like, I had to look at the thing. It might be 334, Sluggo. I can't remember. They're like 4 or 5 people that picked Houston to win. I'll just say this on a personal note, not to be like the fantasy football dude talking about fantasy football amongst his friends and shit, but I'll say this, and this is not a special accomplishment. A lot of people did it because I went chalk. For the first time, I actually had teams that made it to the Final Four, 3 out of 4, and my championship game that I picked actually came to fruition, which, again, big deal. I went chalk. But Florida's taking on Houston. That's who I picked at the beginning of the tournament. I'm not going to win shit. It doesn't really mean anything, but it just makes me feel good on a personal level. So the championship game that I picked did happen. Will the winner stay the same? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I'll get into that shortly. I will jump into the chat room. Let me see. I want to do quick intros right quick. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and do quick intros, and I'll jump right into the opening. The opening is going to be about execution, and I'm going to base that around the Final Four and some of the games that I watched this past weekend, and of course the championship game involved in the women's championship that happened yesterday. Not really evening, mid afternoon, if you want to give it that. Yeah. So mid-afternoon, if you want to say that, something to that effect. So that championship game that occurred during that time, I'm going to discuss that, and I'll speak about the teams that executed, how they were able to win in my eyes, the things that I saw, the things that I enjoyed about the game, and the things that I might not have enjoyed. But before I do that, let's do quick intros. I usually like to give you something to chew on, but let's get the quick intros out of the way. Then we can jump right into my thoughts on the Final Four. First man aboard the train, we got my man Sluggo on the train. Thank you for coming aboard, sir. Coming aboard the train with his traditional, wait a minute. I haven't made my necessary adjustment. One adjustment needed in this studio after the intro. Now that adjustment has been made. Coming aboard the train with his usual, good evening.
Motherfucker.
Good evening.
Motherfucker.
Side note, I've noticed with StreamYard, excuse me, for whatever reason, I guess there's a delay on my voice, but there's not a delay on the soundbite. So when I listen to the replay, even though I never hit the soundbite before I finish talking, the soundbite actually, I step on the soundbite even though in real time I didn't. And there's always a pause, but the soundbite will even start before I even begin to finish what I'm saying. So it's kind of weird. So because of that, I'm forcing myself to tolerate radio silence for almost a 2-second delay to make sure I don't step on the soundbite. So hopefully that fixes the problem, but it's really irritating for that dead air. But in case there is a pause there, that's the reason for the pause. Grab those supplies out of the usual area, sir. So in case there's a pause, that's the reason. Still getting to understand the format. Sluggo said, unicorn hunting. Don't bury the lead. Yeah. Hey, man, Bear's a lucky man. Nothing wrong with that type of existence. Nothing wrong with that at all. JBJ said, little does she know, but Bear made sure to get each unicorn's digits. Hey, you know what, though? Hey, you know what, sir? You know what? No, in here. I got it. Now, yeah, grab your glass, nigga. Yeah. Listen. Unless you want some tequila, but I'm loud, though. Yeah, go ahead and do that. No, I'm loud, though. No, I'm good. I apologize. But JBJ, you're probably right. But JBJ, along those lines.
You hear you? I hear you. You hear you? I hear you.
The truth is for everybody, but everybody might not be for the truth.
You know what? You're preaching, sir. You're preaching. And some people might be saying, but it's understandable what he's saying. I get it. JBJ said, little does she know, but Bear made sure to get each unicorn's digits.
Motherfuckers is selfish as fuck.
Hey, as a matter of fact, do the other one.
Motherfuckers is selfish as fuck.
JBJ said unicorn hunting, huh? JBJ, you a damn fool. You stupid. We got the aforementioned angry black man on the train. What up, ABM? Light Skywalker. Thank you for coming aboard, sir. Still looking forward to you getting back to the world of podcasting. I haven't given up faith on you, sir. Haven't given up faith on you. Thank you for that confirmation, Sluggo, Lima Charlie. Thank you. I'm all good and clear. Thank you, sir. Sluggo said JB will be sipping on that tequila, rooting for the Gators. Yeah, that tequila he showed us. I haven't tried that yet, sir, but upon your recommendation, I may. Oh, let me throw this out there. And I got this from one of the vendors at the distillery at the Walmart of liquors known as Total Wine. And she broke down the reason why I like some of the tequilas I like. She said there aren't a lot of those additives, meaning a lot of sugars and some of the other unnecessary shit that they put in. And a lot of tequilas I like don't have that, so that's a commonality. And Terramana is one of those as well. And there's another one that I just ran up on. I just tried it, El Padrino. And I got it once, and I have another bottle of it. That's some good tequila. And she actually said that that's kind of one of the closest things you can get to Patron. But when I tried it, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, this is actually really good. And Padrino in Spanish translates to Godfather. So it's a cold name. It's definitely a cold name for tequila. It translates to Godfather, but it's actually a good tequila. But El Padrino, not bad at all. Give it a try, and let me know if I'm wrong. But it's the opposite of things like, what's the one that's very expensive and the one that tastes like vanilla. What's the shit called? Is it Casamigos? Casamigos tastes like vanilla. I don't like it. Like once I really got a hold of what it was, that's like, this shit's too sweet. This is a crazy taste. I can't do anything with it. But at any rate, but the tequilas that I like are more or less like that. The tequilas that I like, but that's why I don't like things that are flavored. I don't like flavored liquors and things of that nature. Sluggo said, yeah, I got Houston winning. My disdain for Purdue and picking them to exit in round one, coupled with me picking Memphis to advance to the Sweet 16, are all contributing factors of me finishing no higher than third if Houston does win the chip. Yeah, but you're going to finish 2 spaces above me. I'm going to finish 5th, 4th at best, I think. But I think I'm going to stay right there at 5th. Now, that's my best finish, but that doesn't give me any damn money. It's just something to feel a little bit better. I can say I progressed every year. I can make an excuse and say I've only done it 3 times. I can also say that I'm purely guessing because I haven't watched any damn college basketball enough to make an informed decision. I'm only watching the tournament. JBJ said, I'm not drinking tonight, Sluggo. I try to stay off the libations during the week. You know what? That's a good policy to have, sir. I myself, I can't say that I adhere to that policy. As evidence to the glass to my right, but now I've heard of that before. I've heard people saying that they just stay off of it during the week. Nothing wrong with that at all, sir. Nothing wrong with that at all. As JBJ said, where we at? I'm not drinking tonight, Sluggo. I try to stay off the libations during the week.
Woo! Jesus. Woo! Jesus.
JBJ said this ninja's having a whole other convo while live. JBJ, I knew you was the one that's going to say something if nothing else. Look, I apologize, man. I apologize. I knew you were going to be the one to say something if nothing else. JBJ said this ninja is having a whole another conversation while live.
You're robbing us, you son of a bitch. You're robbing us, you son of a bitch. You're robbing us, you son of a bitch.
JBJ also said,
oh, sorry. That's not right.
Hell no.
Keep me on my toes, sir. I see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry. That's not right.
Hell no.
Sluggo said, Nick stays on libations. Every day feels like a weekend to him. Hey, sir, that's not necessarily true, but it's kind of true. Not necessarily true, but it's kind of true. Sluggo said Nick stays on libations. Every day feels like a weekend to him. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Hysterical, sir. Hysterical. Caesar Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy that Ninja. I will get back to y'all on those additional sound bites, but let me go ahead and get started. And I'll come back to y'all. I haven't forgot about you, but I'm going to make sure that I don't kill time while looking for it. Because most of the time I'm going to have to go grab things. Once again, a limited studio. But let's go ahead and get into it. Sluggo said, Casamigos sounds like it's right up my alley. It's too sweet, man. It has a little taste to it. It has like a little vanilla taste to it. It's initially I was like, okay, it's pretty good, but really once, after you have it a few times, I don't like sweet tequilas. I don't really like it. I'd rather have a bite. I'd rather have a nice bite or a little bit of a bite and it's very smooth. Like I still need to try that Cristalano, which is supposed to be very smooth. I haven't tried that yet. I need to try that with some form of tequila. Sweetness probably means a lot of sugar in it, which probably does lend to that fucking hangover. Sluggo said Casamigos is partly founded by George Clooney. Yeah, I remember that. JBJ said, Sluggo, I have a period to death. Excuse me. Oh, JBJ said, Sluggo, I have to have a period to detox. Okay, you know what? I get that. A detoxing period, I get it. How do I justify it? As long as I get my workout in, I justify whatever I do afterwards. So it's pretty much my justification. That and chugging a bunch of water. But I hear you, sir. As JBJ said, hey, JBJ.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160.
JBJ said, Sluggo, I have to have a period to detox.
You're right. It's fact. You're right. It's fact.
Yeah, JBJ, you tripping. I didn't say that. Sluggo did. Sluggo said, JBJ said, drinking and smoking every day, huh? Oh, shit. Hey, sir. It depends. But look at me and I. So, JBJ.
You're right. It's fact. You're right. It's fact.
You're funny, sir. You're funny. Caesar the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy that Ninja. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
Let's go ahead and get into it, man. The Final Four. Interesting weekend. And let's go ahead and start with something I can actually speak on that I watched. Let's talk about the Women's Championship. Now, I did not watch the entire game. I was a tad bit there should be one over there. Yeah. But the Women's Championship, there was a situation where I got a tad bit busy and I didn't double check. I didn't realize the game came on so damn early. So I was actually surprised when I looked up and said, damn, the game's on already. I expected it to be on in prime time. But as ABM has said multiple times, they do a terrible job of promoting and they do a horrible job of They do a horrible job of just little things like that. Like, why not play that game in prime time or a little bit closer to prime time? Why not, why not? You're the only show in town that day. It's your championship. That's kind of an odd hour in the day. I just really didn't think there was an chance that they were going to do it that early. Then I turned on and I think it was the second or third quarter. So I saw it either right before halftime or into the third quarter. In my mind, I'm like, damn. So I don't understand why there's no commonality with the way the men do it and the way the women do it. That would be like them starting the game at 5 o'clock today or some goofy shit like that. Now, of course, it's Monday and people have to go to work, but still, I know it's Sunday, but you don't have to go that early. Even 5 o'clock would have been a better start time, but I'm almost certain they started before 5. I looked at the TV way before 5 o'clock and they were already going. So the game was really way too early for what it was. What it was, showcase game. That was an early start time. I thought that was weird. But just get to the bare nuts of it. Speaking of execution, there may not have been a better example of that than what the UConn women did in the championship game. So let's just talk about that. Oh, and as I look at this and see that, you know what, I can still search while I'm talking. But a great job by the UConn women executing just the nuts and bolts of it. First and foremost, obviously, I was rooting for Dawn Staley in South Carolina. And let's just start there. And I'm not going to take anything away from the champs. But a great job by them, a great year, another year with a historical amount of wins, making it to the championship game. This is something that's significant historically. A great job by Coach Dawn Staley and the South Carolina women. So you have to give even more credit to UConn, who beat them for the second time this year. And just what I saw, great execution by UConn. They were deadly from the three-point line at times, but I thought it was more about before they were deadly from the three-point line, they were deadly from mid-range. They were deadly cutting to the basket and getting layups. They took advantage of matchups. And something that stood out for me from the standpoint of South Carolina, the one thing that's I won't say missing, but what I will say is I feel like I believe it's 20 or maybe 8 should have got the ball more for South Carolina. Their post presence. She seemed to be able to pretty much give what she wanted under the goal. One of the very few people that could do that. And it's not like they were getting bad shots. They just weren't making them, and that was really necessary against UConn. The other side of it, UConn was simply on fire. UConn was simply on fire, and they were executing very well. South Carolina was running their sets. They were getting their looks, but their looks weren't falling. And UConn shit was falling. And to me, they started out making mid-range jump shots, cutting to the basket, and they shot three-pointers, but they shot them either within the framework of the play, in the rhythm, off of a pass on the inside, and they got a good look at it. They weren't forcing it. They didn't dribble for 10 seconds and then shoot a fadeaway. They were playing good basketball. They executed, and it took that to beat a very good team for South Carolina. So when I speak about execution, I think UConn epitomized that in the way that they played in that game. Let's give credit to the UConn women, and I'm actually trying to give them proper credit. But great job by the UConn women. And let's see here. I'm surprised that is not there. Great job by the UConn women. Great job beating a very good South Carolina team, a very well-coached South Carolina team at that. And as I was watching the game, and when South Carolina tried to make their comeback, I think they got it down to either 11 points, maybe 9 points. 11 points, maybe 9 points. Shit. I think UConn came right back down, hit a nice timely three, kind of played some nice defense. The thing that stood out, two things. UConn, again, they executed, and they were making their shots. South Carolina on the other end wasn't making their shots, and they weren't getting as easy a look. And the thing that stood out for me, again, for South Carolina, offensively, I don't know if it just wasn't them giving the ball to their low presence or their low post presence enough. That it could have been that offensively. But what was glaring is that they didn't have an inside presence that was a defensive disruption. They didn't have what they've had, I guess, for the last at least 4 to 5, 6 years, maybe 8. But I know at least the last 4 to 5, maybe 6. They had Boss, and then they had the other young lady who really caused a problem to anybody that came in the paint. I didn't see that for South Carolina. So they couldn't bother when they were cutting to the basket. There were times when there was somebody to challenge that or make it difficult. I didn't see that with South Carolina this year. So that stood out to me. They pretty much had to make their shots. And since they didn't and UConn did, they pretty much got ran. But a good effort. I think it was maybe 11 or 9. If I remember, that might have been as close as they got. They got it down to about 11 or 9. UConn came down and made a 3. And I think it was pretty much, it never really was a game from there. They just continued to execute. Driving to the basket. And again, nobody to disrupt it. So that really stood out to me that South Carolina didn't have anybody there to bother people that were coming inside. They couldn't really do much about it. So again, great job by the UConn women. Let's get back to giving them credit. Before I move on, Coach Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Again, great year. Let me acknowledge and recognize that. And again, I can't do it properly. I'm just gonna have to drop a bomb for him. I don't have the. I can't. My soundbite doesn't relate. Y'all know the one I normally play, and what I'm looking for, I can't find right now. So let me just do this for the champs. Great job by UConn executing. And because they executed, they won the title against a very formidable team in South Carolina, who I was obviously rooting for, but nonetheless, great job by Coach Don Staley in South Carolina. But in this case, as far as the title and the championship, I can't discriminate. And notice the difference. It's not like I'm not giving UConn credit because my prediction didn't come true, which is what I believe the mainstream does. If they don't get their prediction, they just justify why they were wrong as opposed to talking about the champ. So great job by UConn executing and defeating and outplaying South Carolina. South Carolina, you almost came back and won it again.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
But almost and close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Therefore,
oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
UConn from the get-go said,
Hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
Slow that shit down just a little bit. And to the now champs, UConn, excellent job. Excellent job by your head coach. Excellent job by the team executing the players. Great job. Great job. Salute to you being the champions, defeating South Carolina. And let me give you a bomb drop because that's the only thing I have that's fitting. Notice I didn't hit South Carolina with a "you sorry" soundbite. They don't deserve that. Not going to do that. But I will recognize the champs, UConn. Great job of executing. JBJ says, Sluggo, exactly. These crackers like it because of Clooney. Sluggo said, the man started too damn late. JBJ said, that little ass J has been lit. You must be on something. You're hysterical, sir. Hey, half the time, y'all don't know when the J has been lit. But I know you wanted to point it out, JBJ. I know you wanted to point it out. Sluggo said South Carolina needs another Asia Wilson. Yeah, they need another Asia Wilson or another Leah Boston. Or my other girl that came from South America. But that dominant inside presence just isn't there right now. But I mean, they're gonna grow and get better. And again, we're talking about a team that made it to the title game. They just ran against a team that was hitting on all cylinders. Now, and because of the rules and them having to stay in for 4 years, you'll get a chance to see these young ladies come back outside of people that decide to transfer, which doesn't necessarily happen a lot at South Carolina. Now, moving on to the men's side. And let's go here first. Let's go to JBJ's Florida Gators. Notice the way I said it then. JBJ's Florida Gators and the Auburn Tigers. Actually, my current studio guest favorite college team. The more I think about it, almost slipped my mind. Now, just getting down to brass tacks. Good game, nice back and forth the entire game. It came down to about the last 6 minutes or so when I felt that Florida executed and Auburn didn't. Now, I'm not going to be long-winded about it. What I saw personally, and this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. Florida did a pretty good job of getting high percentage looks, taking the ball to the basket, and if they took a jump shot, it was generally, is it Clayton Jr. for Florida? Clayton Jr., right? Is that his name? Monster. Every time Florida needed a shot, that young man went and got that damn shot. So hands down to that man right there who did a great job of carrying the team. And I think he's done that shit for the last 2 games. I think he's done it for the last damn 2 games at least. But just watching him in the tournament and within the framework of the this bracket, during the conference championships and now this bracket, this March Madness type scenario, just watching him in this space, he's been top tier. He's been an outstanding player, and he's always stepped up when they needed it. So that was really the difference in the game as far as he wasn't as well as Auburn was playing, as well as the game was going for him for the majority of the game. He never allowed Florida to get too far out of it. And when they needed it down the stretch, especially, he was able to execute and make his shots, and Auburn wasn't able to make theirs. Now, I don't know if they leaned too heavy on, is it Broom or Braun? Brome. I don't know if they lean too. I don't know if they lean too heavy on him. I don't know if his injuries played a factor. But I will say this is what I saw down the stretch. Auburn had some looks, but I felt like there were 3 different occasions, and I'll speak about the antithesis of this when I speak about the next game. But I felt like there were 3 different possessions, and I think Clayton Jr. might have been a factor in all 3 of the possessions on the other end for Florida during these exchanges. But on Auburn's side, they took, I think, 3 different 3-pointers in a row, and none of them were really good looks. And on top of that, it wasn't necessary to shoot a 3-pointer. They just needed a bucket, especially they were at one point either take the lead or tie it or be within 1, and they were gunning threes when I felt like they should have went into the paint and took a more high percentage shot. Clayton was taking it to the motherfucking hole. He was taking it to the cup, or he was getting a high percentage shot or a mid-range jump shot, but he wasn't gunning threes. And he came up and made one. Now, if you make it, you can't say a damn thing. But he did make a 3, but it was a good look. And he already had a rhythm because he had taken it to the hole. He had shot a mid-range jump shot. I really felt like Auburn did themselves a disservice, and down the stretch, they didn't execute. Maybe they choked a little bit. Maybe the moment was too big. Maybe sometimes the shot just doesn't fall. I'm not saying I hate a 3-pointer, but I'd rather it happen within the framework of the offense. You get it in, he kicks it out to an open man after they collapse on him. You swing the ball around, you come off a screen, something the way you have a good look. I'd rather you take a mid-range jump shot unless somebody is just feeling it. But I felt like those 3-pointers were forced. I felt like at least 2 of those threes were forced. Maybe all 3 of them, but I felt on 2 possessions. I know I said out loud, you didn't need a 3. I really didn't have a dog in the fight. Florida almost like Duke, not completely, but not to the level of Duke. I won't go that far. But for some reason, I've just never been a fan of Duke. I can't even justify why. Just never liked them. Florida, for whatever reason, I've never been a fan. I respected them when they could play. I respected the Steve Spurrier offense and what they could do because I'm a fan of football. But I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan. But still, I didn't have a dog in this fight. I just want to see good basketball. And when Auburn did that, the fuck are you doing? Because every time they didn't execute on the other end, Florida did. And that's what killed them in that last stretch of those last 6 minutes to 5 minutes. The people didn't get good looks. And when you go lean to that lefty whose name I'm forgetting, I think you were saying Zero. Pettiford, you lean up towards Pettiford. You let him loose, you let him go in, you allow Brown them to rebound if necessary, but you find something, you draw up something. And that's somewhat on the coaching as well. I didn't like the wild 3-pointers that didn't come off of any type of plays or setups. And they should have been settled down before they had 3 possessions where they took bad shots. 3 different, and that's terrible. If they're the oldest team in the tournament and they didn't know better than that, because I would have swore it was Houston, because Houston has at least 3 or 4 players I remember seeing last year. So to be the oldest team in the tournament, to have a veteran coach and a veteran team, that's disappointing that they didn't execute down the stretch. That's disappointing. Thank you for that tidbit. I didn't know that. That's disappointing. But I felt that Florida did a great job of executing, and they simply made the shots down the stretch, in a large part to Mr. Clayton Jr. And I felt like Auburn just took 3 unnecessary 3-pointers when a bucket would have done the trick. A bucket would have done. A layup would have done it, a mid-range jump shot, a high percentage shot, not necessarily going in and flopping and trying to get a foul, but attacking the basket and taking a high percentage shot. Maybe you get an and one, maybe you get fouled, but you get an opportunity to put points on the board, stop the clock, slow down their momentum, get somebody in foul trouble. They could have done a much better job executing. I'm not disappointed in Florida winning. I'm disappointed in Auburn not executing and giving me a better finish. I would have liked to see a better finish. I felt like for some reason they just floundered towards the end. Some of that's on Bruce Pearl and some of that's on the players. And I just felt once dude didn't have it after at least a miss or two and you had to go to the outside, you didn't have to gun a three, though. I just think if you were a little more poised, if he kept his team calm after that first three-pointer, he should have been in their ass and he should have been telling them what to run or had somebody on the floor knowing what to run. To where you're going to set something up to let somebody get a clean look. And in all likelihood, he'll probably make that shot or at least have a better chance of doing so. Coming off of a screen, catching the ball in rhythm, and raising up is always better than just gunning a hero three-pointer before you even check any options, before you pass the ball one time, while you're covered and somebody's in your fucking face. And that's what they were doing at least 2 out of those 3 possessions. I didn't understand that shit. So I didn't like the ending for Auburn. Great job of Florida executing. Excellent job of Florida executing. Florida moves on to the finals, defeating Auburn. And hell, let me give you the deets. If you're up for another one, man, you can twist it. Let me give you the details. Not the biggest numbers guy, but in this situation, why not? I often say, why talk about something that y'all are aware of that y'all can look up? But let's give people their credit in this situation. The aforementioned Clayton Jr., 34 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. 34 points. I forgot. Great job, sir. Great job. Let me give him a ball.
That boy is good. That boy is good. That boy is good.
He's obviously going to be a huge factor this evening. Huge factor this evening. Huge factor. Will he get off the way he's been getting off probably for the last 2 or 3 games? Houston has a very good defense. Will they concentrate on – I would concentrate on taking him away. Somebody else is going to have to beat me. Florida obviously can win. They're a very good team. They're well coached. They flop when necessary. Sorry, JBJ. It is what it is. But just in all seriousness, from a basketball aspect, this should be a very good game. Should be a very good game. I would think a team, I don't really need to go here right now, but I would assume Houston is going to put somebody they feel is a good defender on them, and if necessary, take them away, period. Just make somebody else do it. But you can't allow this man to go for 30 plus at a high percentage level. You just can't allow it. Somebody else has to do it. Not after watching them do it to other teams, but great job by that young man. Excellent job.
That boy is good. That boy is good.
Excellent job by Florida executing. Would have liked to see Auburn do a little bit more down the stretch. But great game. Great job by Florida. Making it to tonight's championship game against the aforementioned Houston. Now, let's talk about, well, hold on. I'll tell you what. Let's check the chat room. Let's stay current. And then I'll get to Houston versus Duke. And that game had me worried. I was worried about that for a multitude of reasons. I wasn't confident that game was going to necessarily be officiated properly. And luckily, that wasn't, that wasn't really a big factor. Because in past times, I think down the stretch, a comeback wouldn't have been possible because so many whistles would have been blowing. So not really a factor. They allowed them to play basketball. You're not going to agree with every call, but I didn't see things that were egregious. Now, before I get there, let's go ahead and get into the chat room. As JBJ said, that little ass J has been lit.
You must be on something. You must be on something.
Sluggo said, not sure why the men's game is starting at damn near 10 p.m. Hey, to the people that are in charge of the schedule.
You must be on something.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.
Yeah, in the Eastern time zone, because it's 7:50 for me. So y'all got an 8:50 start time, and that shit's crazy. Y'all got 8:50 start time. Y'all got 8:50 start time. It's supposed to be on, bro. Y'all got 8:50 start time, so y'all good to go. Well, not necessarily. That's the only downside to the Eastern time zone at times. I mean, the game's starting at the same time technically, but everybody has to get to work at the same time, and I get an extra hour of sleep. That's all it is to it. And at this point, I still stay up and watch the game, so that's actually valuable. That's actually valuable. But yeah, they are starting the men's game kind of late, especially on the East Coast. When I saw 7:50, and I said that's 7:50 Central. I said that's 8:55. I said that's some bullshit right there. And I guess they're doing that for the West Coast so it doesn't start so early for them. But man, come on, bro. 8:50 on the East Coast, that's kind of crazy. 7:50 for a person like myself, I'm gonna stay up and watch it anyway. So whatever. But 8:50, a 9 o'clock start time, basically when they get through with the theatrics and shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Sluggo said Dawn will make the necessary adjustments. I agree. She's going to learn from this. She's probably going to blame herself, and as it's been told to me by my best friend, they got a young team. And again, I mean, maybe their inside presence will grow into what those other women were, but that defensive presence that kind of just they had a formidable defensive presence that always disrupted anything coming into the paint. In the years that I've been watching them, and it's not like it's been a long time. As I say when I speak about this, I'm doing it from a novice standpoint, from the aspect that I haven't watched college ball all year. I can't tell you about the coach, their style, how the team's grown throughout the years, how this player played this year or this point in the season to this point. I have no idea. I can only talk to you about what I see in the tournament and what I see right now. But I don't watch basketball the way I watch football, so I can't speak about it with that much confidence. But I can say they didn't have anybody to disturb anybody that came into the paint. UConn was getting what they wanted at the basket, and they were making their damn shots. They were getting everything they wanted at the basket. JBJ said Clayton Jr. put the team on his back. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
You hear you? I hear you.
Yeah, he
You hear
did.
you? I hear you.
That young man was playing ball.
The truth is for everybody, but everybody might not be for the truth.
That dude was playing ball, man. Hey, you got to give credit to somebody that steps up when needed, and he's stepping up when needed. When they needed his ass, he stepped up. Every time it's go time, every time y'all need a basket, it's him. Every time y'all need a basket, JBJ, it's him. Every time. As JBJ said, Clayton Jr. put the team on his back.
God is good. God is good.
I noticed what JBJ has been saying the last few games, especially that close game. I can't remember who it was, but that close-ass game when everybody was on him in the text thread, just waiting for Florida to lose so they could put it in the memes. And then the text thread got quiet when Florida came back and won. I know you were saying that right then, JBJ.
God is good. God is good.
JBJ said his broom like the one used to sweep. Thank you, sir. Thank you. JBJ said, we know you don't like Florida. We know you don't like Florida. You said it on a number of occasions, you funky doghead bitch. Hey, JBJ, and listen, I'm being honest, but I'm not biased. Listen, I'm not a fan. But I'm not biased in my analyzation. And it's not like y'all have had bad teams. It's not like I don't give y'all credit for being a good team. But I've just never been a fan. And again, as of right now, let me think about it. No, I can't give you a rational reason for that. I can't give you a good reason. I don't have one. I don't have a good reason for it. Just not a fan. But again, man, when y'all had Spurrier's bitch ass, I'll say this. When Spurrier was there,
you're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160.
Y'all were lighting the SEC up. The SEC was kind of conservative for the most part then, too. Y'all were almost the only team airing it out like that. Boy, y'all were fucking people up with that shit. It was a different game. Y'all, the offense y'all was running was not what was going on in a lot of schools and especially in the SEC back then. It was different. Teams had to adjust to that shit. That was different. That was different.
The brilliance is the best brilliance is brilliance born not from someone ignorant.
Now, if he would have been willing to play different styles of quarterback, there's no telling what could have happened with this type of offense. He did it for a hot second in South Carolina with a dude. I can't remember his name, but the following year he didn't retain the opportunity to have that job. He played really well for the time that he got a chance to play, maybe half of a season when the other guy got hurt. And that's the only time Spurrier's ever consistently done that. Ever. Outside of that, he had a Hispanic dude, I think, one time. He had a Hispanic dude maybe once, but that's about it. That's about it. He never had anybody outside of dude who I thought was decent. I thought he was actually decent. Thought he was decent. But, yeah, it is what it is. But I was never a fan, but, yeah. Y'all used to whoop ass, though. Can't deny that. Man, y'all used to whoop ass. Some of those games, it wasn't even fair. It just depended on what y'all had going that day. But if y'all was on y'all shit, man, it was ugly for a lot of damn teams if y'all was on y'all shit. Y'all had some on the skilled possession, man, as far as skill possession, man, y'all had some damn talent at the skill positions at Florida. Y'all had some damn ridiculous athletes running a scheme that had them running wide ass open, man. That shit was crazy. Y'all had athletes everywhere and a scheme that had them running open. And if he had his fucking quarterback in the right page, shit was ugly. And when y'all played a team that wasn't good anyway, shit was ugly. And as I've been told again by an inside source, the assistant coaches that he had throughout the years probably had a lot to do with it as well. Florida had a lot going on. If I remember, didn't he have a ninja that was a D coordinator for a minute? But that Florida was a pain in the ass back in the day. Pain in the ass. They were stomping everybody the fuck out. You didn't want to go to the damn swamp. Motherfuckers was airing it out. You used to having the ball ran on you all the time. Cornerbacks back there goddamn confused because they never get the ball thrown at them and shit. Cornerbacks don't know what the hell's going on. Coach, these motherfuckers throwing the ball. You just didn't see that a lot back then. It was a different damn game. CZ Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. I apologize for any damn sound bites that aren't obliged. Got my man 334 on the train. What's going on, sir? Thank you for coming aboard. West Georgia fell victim to the same thing I felt that Alabama did, sir. Too many damn threes. And 334 says with glee in his voice and a lot of laughing emojis, West Georgia, you get what you deserve. As a current Auburn fan in the studio says, being called West Georgia is disrespectful in itself. And he consistently calls y'all West Georgia with a bunch of laughing emojis. Sluggo said every time Florida needs a bucket, the Super Mulatto gets it. He does, dude, every damn time. JBJ said Florida's defense turned up in the second half. They held Maurice's cousin Broom. They held Maurice's cousin Broom the 3 points. They've been a second half team the entire year. Hey, sir, I'm not going to deny that, and let me give you your respect. And by the way, the soundbite you're reaching for.
The brilliance is the best brilliance is brilliance born not from someone ignorant.
Excuse me. And again, JBJ said, Florida's defense turned up in the second half. They held Maurice's cousin Broom to 3 points. They've been a second half team the entire year. Improvised soundbite right there, but no doubt, JBJ, no doubt. And the current Auburn fan has said adamantly he doesn't like the offense going through Broom. And you know, I'm an inside out guy, but kind of depends. But it can stalemate. I will say I don't agree with it stalemating. So like I said, this didn't just say deets. Did I say deets concerning details? If so, that's what TSA did that to me. She hit me with that one time. She was like, "You want the deets?" She's like, "You want the deets?" And I said, "Deets." I said, "You know what? I kind of like that. I see what you're doing." Because we've always used slang to shorten terms and get right to the point. So I'm cool with that. Say, "You want the deets?" I said, "Hey, deets." I said, "Okay." And that kind of stuck with me. I like that one. You see, I reject bullshit. Like, I'll never say I feel some type of way. That's a feminine statement. I'll never say I'll never say gaslighting. That's something women say when they don't want to be held accountable for whatever they did. Stop. I mean, stop. It's a ridiculous term. It's a ridiculous term. But I digress. Back to what we're talking about. JBJ said Clayton Jr. is not a natural point guard, but he will have to be tonight because Houston is going to blitz him and make someone else defeat them. Yeah, I believe so. You going, Doc? All right. And oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, y'all. My apologies. My apologies. Got to get a cough button. But yeah, JBJ, that's what I figured. I doubt that Houston allows him. I mean, you can't shut him out, but I'd be surprised if Houston allows him to destroy him, though. Knowing who he is and what he does, I just don't see it. All the other people on the floor, I'm not going to let you destroy me. I can't. Somebody else is going to have to do it. Somebody else is going to have to do it. I can't let you do it. I can't. Well, Florida may be up to the task. Or maybe they do things and draw up schemes that put him in a position where he gets the ball anyway. But 30 plus, being the go-to person every single time, you just can't let him do that. When you after so long, you gotta okay, there's too much of this. Interesting. Interesting. And again, I'm exploring things. And just as a side note, thank you for the request, which allows me to know if I'm slipping or not. Okay. I was not aware. Okay. There's some things that aren't in here that should be. Okay. Thank you for the request, sir. That allows me to do some exploration. And again, I can't have everything in here, but there are some things that should be available that aren't readily available. And that is interesting. That is interesting. Okay. We'll explore that on another day. That's interesting. Once again, JBJ said, Florida's defense turned up in the second half. They had Maurice's cousin Broom, that's hysterical, to 3 points. They've been a second half team for the entire year.
Well, that means didn't he did? Yeah. When hasn't he ever? Didn't he did? Did he not do it? Well, that means didn't he did? Yeah. When hasn't he ever? Didn't he did? Did he not do it?
I'm going to have to figure out what folder I got the Won't He Will in. It's not in the Jesus folder where it should be. And I don't know how that's possible. Don't know how that's possible. But I'm going to figure it out. Coming aboard the train to his usual and traditional bomb drop for slapping the sauce out of his wife's hands when she tried to apply it to my ribs. True story. True story. None other than my man Sidney Jackson. What's going on, sir? That really happened. Hand to sauce, sauce to ground, or to concrete patio. True story. Sidney coming in saying, what up with it? Sidney Jackson said, UConn put USC in the Kamala position with that extra loss. Oh shit. Oh shit, Sidney. Man, don't come on the train with that bullshit. Oh shit. Oh, I apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Sidney, you stupid. Sidney Johnson said UConn put USC. UConn put USC, oh Jesus, in the Kamala position with the extra long strap on. UConn put USC in the Kamala position with the extra long strap on with the 3-action motion. 3-action motion.
And he's gay. And he is gay.
Hey, this is not my fault. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, boy, you stupid as hell.
Sick! Help! Sick! Help!
Sidney Jackson.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160.
Composure. Sidney Jackson says, UConn put USC in the Kamala position with the extra long strap on with the 3-action motion. 3-action motion.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160.
Oh, 3-action motion. Oh, that means it vibrates, twirls around in a circle, and it pulsates. I'm just guessing. This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that ninja. Boy, Sidney, you stupid.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Hell no.
Oh, boy. Sidney, you stupid. I apologize. Truly apologize. Woo. Oh, man. Boy, you hurt my soul then. You hurt my soul then. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, you hurt my soul then. Okay, where are we at? Suggo said, sir, we were on JBJ's side in said text thread, but I got them losing tonight. Oh, y'all were actually on his side? I didn't realize. Oh, Sydney, one more time, man. Brilliant. UConn put USC in the Kamala position with that extra long strap on with the 3-action motion. That's vibrating, rotating, and pump action.
Why your strap in? I'll bite your strap. Go get your strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the I'll bite the tip off the strap. Go get the... Why your strap in? I'll bite your strap. Go get your strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the I'll bite the tip off the strap. Go get the...
Sluggo said, need Coach Sampson to get the chip. Need Coach Sampson to get the chip. With his age, not sure how many more opportunities he'll get. Oh, great point. Yeah, and I'm rooting for Houston tonight. I got Houston winning it all. And we'll see. We'll see in less than an hour now. Less than an hour. JBJ said at South Carolina, he had a quarterback named Garcia. Hey, now I remember, that's why I said one Hispanic dude. I remember Garcia. There was one ninja that played before him, but I remember Garcia. JBJ said at South Carolina, he had a quarterback named Garcia. Hey, little fucker. Along with Alshon Jeffries, Lattimore, and Clowney, I believe. Yeah, I think you're right. And that's who played then. I don't know if dude was there at the same time, played when Garcia got hurt, if it was before Garcia. But there was a cat there that did really well, and I don't know what happened after that. I don't know what happened. But yeah, that's who it was, Garcia. That's why I said I remember there was one Hispanic dude. Garcia, that's right. Sluggo said the West Georgia fan is running wingman tonight. Yeah, my boy was chiming in. He was chiming in. But it's all good. You see how I was able just to keep it going. I learned my lesson with that. Had that happen before. And I'm cool with those opinions because he told me 3 or 4 things I actually didn't even know. JBJ, I'm sorry. Sluggo said, the West Georgia fan is running wingman tonight.
You hear you? I hear you. You hear you? I hear you. You hear you? I hear you.
Facts. Again, I apologize. Cough button. My apologies. JBJ said, excuse me, at Florida, Spurrier had Bob Stoops as his defensive coordinator. Meyer had Charlie Strong. That's who I was thinking about. I was thinking about Charlie Strong. Meyer had him when he was there. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification, sir. Thank you. 334 said, we own the swamp, marsh, pond, whatever you want to call it. 334 Bama, obviously a Bama fan, said, we own the swamp, marsh, pond, whatever you want to call it. Roll motherfucking tide. Oh, okay, sir. Hey, you know what? I expect you to say nothing less. And, you know, and that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. But there was definitely a time when there were other people that didn't want to see that spot. I couldn't stand Florida. But those motherfuckers could play. In other words, 334 is saying,
what? Nigga, please.
When I was speaking about the swamp and not wanting to go there.
What? Nigga, please.
334 said, I don't give a damn about going to the pond.
What? Nigga, please.
Today we play at the marsh.
What? Nigga, please.
Today we play in, you know what, I'm gonna stop. But but I hear you, 334, I hear you. Sluggo said, Nick will never say, this is gay. I will never say that, sir. I will never say that. Sluggo said, Nick will never say, this is giving me life.
What? Nigga, please.
When I heard grown men saying that, I was like,
Who raised you?
really? That's what we doing?
Who raised you?
Wait a minute. What? Nigga, please.
Sydney said, no, sorry. Sluggo said that 3-action motion hit a nerve with Nick. Sydney laughing at Sluggo. 334 said, I never realized she said she was. Oh, shit. 334 said, I never realized she said she would throw up on the strap.
Where your strap at? I'll bite your strap. Don't get your strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the what? I'll bite the tip off the strap. Don't get
the... Oh, Jesus Christ. And again, this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that ninja. JBJ responding to 334. This is a Florida fan speaking to a Alabama fan, obviously. JBJ said, Bama owns the swamp.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
JBJ obviously disagrees with 334's assessment of who owns the swamp. And to disagree is to be human. But you know, if there was anybody who had the right to make that claim, I think 334 would fit in that category of somebody who has the right to make said claim. If anybody had the right to make that claim, I believe an Alabama fan could. Now, sir, as I said, I'm not going to take back anything that I said. In their day, when I couldn't stand Florida, which is, I'm acting like that isn't now, but I'm acting like that's not now, but there was a time when it was annoying to watch Florida because I wasn't thrilled about watching them win. I used to always just want y'all to lose. I'll just be honest. I was like, I hope these motherfuckers lose today. I just really hope they would lose. But yeah, dude, the 3-action motion. Look, he said the extra long strap on with the 3-action motion. Come on, man. Well, I'm not supposed to laugh at that. I'm not supposed to laugh at that.
Where your strap at? I'll bite your strap. Don't get your strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the strap, bitch. I'll throw up on the what? I'll bite the tip off the strap. Don't get the...
What, I'm not supposed to laugh at that? JBJ again said, Bama owns the swamp.
Who told you that?
Confused, bewildered, lethargic.
Who told you that?
Confused, bewildered, lethargic.
We got somebody else on here pimping something. Okay. Oh, and I meant to tell y'all this. I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay, again, it's a new platform. I'm exploring things. Guess what I found out? I went to my settings The chat room should be wide open. There were chat room restrictions that I had the ability to remove. I took all of that shit off. So please do your worst. As said by Sydney's chat, do your worst. Do what you would normally get flagged for, and let's make sure my chat room is wide open like it should be. I meant to tell y'all that at the top of the show. I found the settings for the chat room, and all the restrictions were on. I took all of that shit off. We should be good. We should be good. I didn't go back and look at it. I took all of that bullshit off. There should be no more restrictions in the chat room. So honestly, y'all should be able to let loose in the chat room like you were able to before. I apologize. I meant to tell y'all that at the beginning of the show. I forgot. That is hysterical. Hey, that's hysterical.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160.
JB, damn. Sluggo says, sir, I already got flagged for saying the Jim Crow version of a ninja. Really? That shouldn't be happening, man. That shouldn't happen. I went to the Twitch chat room and I remove all those restrictions unless that shit jump back on. Okay. You know, that's fine. You know, honestly, I can sit there and talk to y'all and I'll try to find how to go. Honestly, was going to check that shit again right quick, to be honest with you. But you should be able to let loose. Sluggo, I'm surprised they got you. I meant to tell y'all that at the beginning of the show. And I might have to give y'all a quick pause for a second. Okay, I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out. But honestly, there aren't supposed to be any more restrictions. Shouldn't be. Maybe they have some things that but they had all kind of little different categories. You know, explicit language, things sexual in nature. You know, all that little bullshit. They had all of that going. But I removed that. It should be going. Sydney said, I made a derogatory comment about -47 and it got flagged. Okay. Okay. So obviously it's not working. I'll go back in the chat room and try to figure that out. That is disappointing. That is disappointing. Okay. I thought I had that chat room thing lit, especially after reading your chat, Sydney, but I see that you probably had to kind of reword it or whatever. Okay. I really don't like that. I don't like the restricted chat room. Don't like it. I don't like that. Okay. Damn, man. That was one thing that I was happy about. Oh, shit. Hold on one second.
Hey, baby girl, I'm about to go hop in the shower. When I get out, we head out to the volleyball tournament, okay?
Okay. Oh, can I use my the computer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, baby. Of course. Hey, baby girl.
Yeah.
Repetition breeds familiarity.
Familiarity breeds comfort. Comfort breeds complacency or success. We're going for the latter rather than the former.
All right, good deal. Handle business.
Okay.
Hey, remember you're a beast out there. Act like it.
I will.
All right.
Let me see what he got in these emails. Spam. Overdue bills. Not surprised. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Young nigga got it bad 'cause he's broke. What is this? Sarah? Linda? Becky? Amber? Amy? Molly, Ginger, Heather? Karen! Oh, hell no! We are not having this. No, I don't want no Pancake Tuesdays. Oh God, delete, 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 delete. No, I do not want your lemon bars, Karen. Ooh, my dad's gonna get...
All right, my apologies. That couldn't be helped, and I know that's unacceptable. My apologies. My apologies. My bad. My bad. Okay, I thought that I fixed that chat room shit, but apparently we still get Sydney, you stupid. Sydney said I just got a chat with all cuss words and it went through. Okay, so I'm not sure what they're flagging then. So apparently there's certain things we can say and certain things we can't. So I'm not sure what they're flagging then. So we can cuss, but you said something about -49 and they flagged that. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I only gave you one. I'll tell you what. Okay. I'll figure it out. I thought I removed everything. I'll go look at it again. Maybe it resets. It shouldn't. Maybe it resets. Maybe there was one more thing I needed to hit. Maybe I should have just hit the top one. But I thought I removed all those little bullshit ass restrictions, man. Because once I looked and saw that, I was okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the reason they keep flagging me and all that shit. Yeah, you can go through that. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Hey, yo. Sorry about that, man. But I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get that. Kick that back on in. Yeah. All right, man. I apologize. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'll figure that chat room shit out. I meant to say that at the beginning because actually I thought we were good. I thought we were good to the point where we didn't have to worry about the chat room. I thought, but obviously I was wrong, unfortunately. So I was dead wrong about that. Chat room still has a problem. So there's certain things that are going through and certain comments get flagged. I'm not sure what that's about. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll double check that and then we'll go from there. Let's get back on it. Okay. No more restrictions right there. Sydney said, I read that one. Sydney in succession said, shit, fuck, titty, booty hole. Sydney said, apparently I can't say the street term for fornication under the consent of the king to a maternal unit in here. Okay, I got you. Apparently I can't say the term or the street term for fornication under the consent of a king to a maternal unit in here. That is hysterical. Fornication under the consent of the king to a maternal unit. That is hysterical. Sydney, I like that, sir. I see what you did there. You're using your vowels. You're showing off that education.
Who this nigga on that name?
You showing off that education. I see you, sir. I see you. Sluggo said maybe they only flag racially insensitive language. Maybe. Sluggo said nope. Ninja with the hard R got me flagged. Huh. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I'll look into it. We'll figure it out. I think we're edging a little closer to game time. Also, I'm going to do the Cow Awards. The Cow Awards early. I don't know, just in case I get into the game or something and I want to cut out early, and or I get into the other subject matter and leave the cows hanging again. And I've done that, I think, for 2 shows. My apologies to the individual that's sending me in the Cow Awards. I apologize, sir. Well, I apologize to Sluggo. My bad. And to the listeners for robbing you of the cows. I will do the cows today after my basketball takes. So let's go ahead and get to Houston versus Duke. And let's talk about the antithesis of what I thought West Georgia did. West Georgia didn't have composure. As my compadre was saying, the most veteran team in the tournament, oldest team in the tournament. A coach that has been around. He's a snitch, as ABM says. To quote Light Skywalker, the snitch coach that threw assistant coaches under the bus, if I remember what ABM said. Now, despite all of that, a coach has been around for a while. Veteran coach, veteran players, and in a key moment, a moment where it was time to step up and be composed and execute, Auburn did the opposite for the most part. I think they panicked. And again, if those shots go in, it's all good, but you weren't in any type of rhythm. You weren't in the flow of the game. You didn't attempt to get in the flow. You didn't attempt to move the ball. You didn't attempt to run a set. So I really didn't understand what Auburn was doing in that moment. It was disappointing. I just wanted to see a better showing and a better effort from Auburn. I just wanted to see a better effort at the end of that game. But let's go back to Houston versus Duke. Before the game, I was concerned and worried about the officiating, but I believe it was a non-factor for the most part, or at least that it was at the time when an improbable comeback was made, they stayed out of the game and allowed basketball to be played. And I've seen many games where they would not have allowed that to happen. They simply would have blown the whistle. One whistle in this situation probably would have killed them. Maybe they could have overcame one because they overcame a mistake by one of their players, but one whistle probably would have killed them. Just one whistle putting them on the free throw line and giving them 2 shots, and they never got it because they didn't just blow it for the sake of blowing it, anticipating it, or saying he deserves it, or just saying, I'm not going to allow you to come back. I've seen that before. It didn't happen. So for that reason, I have to say that it was at least decently officiated, and maybe it wasn't for the entirety of the game. I don't know. Maybe there was some touch fouls here and there. 13 was still out there on the floor. He wasn't necessarily in foul trouble, or he was able to maintain. So for the most part, they didn't impact the game when it was go time and when they were making a comeback. They didn't snatch the game away from them. So as crazy as it sounds, I want to give them credit for that ? And I also got that from TSA. That's also something I got from TSA. So there you have it. There you have it. On the outskirts, just to say this, great game. Great game. Starting out, Duke came out kind of strong. Houston was having a hard time initially. Just weren't making their shots. My observation was Houston was getting their looks. They were getting mid-range looks. They were good looks. Some of it was just them taking on the defender, but it makes sense because Duke is such, I think, the tallest team in the tournament, maybe in the country, I don't know, but very tall and rangy team, athletic team. They have people that can play a good set, pretty good scheme. But, with that height, athleticism and quickness can take advantage of that around the perimeter, and that's what Houston was doing. They weren't necessarily making those shots initially, and that was really the only issue, but they weren't having a hard time getting clean looks. For that reason, I felt they still had hope. I just thought they weren't making their shots initially. But Houston got down early, but unlike, and again, Auburn played great for the majority of the game, but just speaking about when things aren't going your way, in my opinion, when things weren't going their way, Houston didn't panic. They just stayed with their game. Early in the first half, they were down, significant amount of points to Duke. I can't remember exactly, but it wasn't cute. At least 10 plus. They weren't making their shots. I'm not going to say they weren't playing well. They weren't making their shots. And by the consequence of them not making their shots, they weren't playing well. So, but the looks were there. They just weren't falling. But what Houston did, what a veteran team, which is what I've looked at them as, one of the very few teams I felt informed on because of Kelvin Sampson being the coach, my familiarity with him. Also, being the novice fan I am because I don't watch it during the season and I'm not familiar with all the teams and the players and their progression. I even know that Houston has at least 3 or 4 key players at the back. I know 3 for a fact. I know 3. And possibly more. And I see that they have players on the bench that are going to be there next year. 23, who I'm not even aware of, came in one game when they got in foul trouble and stepped up big time, hit 3 or 4 very big shots in the second half. Master P's son, who from what I understand is very nice on the court, is on the team as well. So some teams or some coaches find a way to keep teams together in this situation where a lot of coaches are, where there are a lot of coaches that are crying. I mean, come on, how the hell am I supposed to coach? When a guy can just leave. And I mean, there's a lot of that going on, and there's some validity to that. But there's also the other side. And I'm not saying it's all roses. I'm just saying that it's different. Some coaches, instead of crying about it, which is usually frowned upon, some coaches just find a way to work around it and do what they can do, create an environment like Kelvin Sampson has created to where he has 3 or 4 significant players that actually came back, and I'm sure that they're happy they did so, having a chance to play in this championship game that is coming up shortly in less than 30 minutes and or about 30 minutes or so that I'm going to enjoy watching, and we'll see how much longer the show goes. I don't know if I want to be that cat speaking to y'all, talking about things and reacting to the game, which I'm probably going to do, so let's just keep it pushing. But because they had a veteran team, I'm sorry, I digress. What I was saying was Houston was one of the very few teams I felt I had familiarity with because they had returning players and they were going to run their system and run their scheme regardless of the personnel, much like I think UConn does, or Florida does as well. Well-coached teams do. And I think teams that utilize the 3 but don't live by it are the teams that were left standing. There's something to be said for that. But when Houston was down early in the first half, when things weren't going their way, when shots weren't falling, they didn't panic. They didn't get out of sorts. They didn't start playing outside of themselves. They didn't start just jacking up shots playing hero ball. They continued to play defense, make it tough for Duke to make shots, which allowed them to eventually walk them down and catch up and make it a 6-point game at half, 34-28, when they were down by, I think, double digits at multiple points during the first half. They worked it down to 6 points and finished very strong in the first half, setting up a second half for them to come out and get ready to play good basketball. But they put themselves back in the game by making that push at the end of the half, and they did so by continuing to play their game, not panicking, not taking rush threes and multiple bad shots. Even when they took open threes, they took threes that were open and they came off of picks, or a guy that wasn't picked up, he was able to get an open look, whether it fell or not. So their shots weren't falling early, but they were getting good looks. Those looks started to fall later in the half. They closed the game down. So let's just get into the second half. Again, you have a nice game, a nice back and forth. Let's get into those final, God almighty, final 3 minutes, final 3 or 4 minutes. And let me go over the sequences I remember it. I'm rooting for Houston big time. They're in a bad way. It doesn't look good. Most people would say it's over. A lot of people, I think, might have turned the channel, went to sleep, found something else to do, engaged in a no-holds-barred cage match. A lot of things you could have been doing instead of watching Duke defeat Houston, which is something that not a lot of people wanted to see. And I digress. Let me say this as a disclaimer. Sorry, Griff. Sorry, Griff. You're the only person getting a disclaimer in this situation. Any other Duke fan? But Griff, I apologize for everything I'm about to say. The last thing on planet Earth I wanted to see was Duke win this damn game. Not a fan. Never been a fan of Duke. And again, I don't have a good reason. I cannot quantify to you why I'm not a fan of Duke. Just never been a fan. Just never liked them from the beginning. Don't know why. There are theories. I can look back on it as somebody who can articulate itself a little bit better at this age and tell you why. I'm not going to do it. But if you look back on some of those teams and think about it, you might be able to figure it out. As I look at it, I think that's probably what it was. I think some of the questionable officiating when they were playing led to me not liking them. That's something I don't care for. So I can be, again, like if I have a bracket going and I have a team that I need to win, if I'm watching the game and they're getting calls they don't deserve, just as a fan of sports, it annoys me to the point where I damn near want them to lose. Not really damn near, I'm rooting for the other team. I just don't like an unlevel playing field. It's not sport. It's not what sports are all about. How can you ever get better if you don't understand defeat? There was a point when I was a kid, when I was 11, I was playing on a team of dudes that had been playing together for like 3 or 4 years. They were real good. Like they went undefeated. We were going to state every year and shit like that. So I didn't get to play a lot. But that made me work harder. The next year, I was a fucking monster. And I was on a different team, but I was the leader of that fucking team because I didn't want to sit on the bench all fucking year. That's just part of the progress. And nowadays, man, shit is so soft, cutting off the scoreboard. Everybody got to play a certain amount of minutes and all this bullshit. You're making soft-ass, weak children that aren't equipped to understand disappointment and know and you understand that life isn't fair playing sports because if you're not good enough, you don't get to fucking play. And sometimes you're good enough and the coach is fucked up. So you still learn life isn't fair. Taking people that don't play sports, they have an air about them. Like, not talking to people that didn't play, don't get me wrong. Maybe if you were in the band or at least part of something to where you had to be selfless, you can learn the same lesson. But if you didn't do anything, those people, a lot of them don't necessarily learn how to work with a group and don't understand, you know what I'm saying, that shit ain't fair and things of this nature. That those type of people should never be around sports. I digress. I went left. Point being is that, that progress is necessary, man. It's not something that should be allocated out. Those last 3 or 4 minutes, man. It looked like they were done. But again, stayed with the game, didn't cut it off, stayed with it, rooting for Houston. And this is what I saw. This is my quick recollection. Help me out with anything I may forget. I'm not going to bother going back to YouTube. Houston, again, continued to play defense throughout the game. And again, this is where we can get into being the antithesis of what Auburn did when they started to panic. Auburn was not down by as many points as Houston was. It was completely unnecessary to gun those 3-pointers, 3 possessions in a fucking row. Completely unnecessary. Houston was down by much more, but 21 took it to the hole, got 2 points. Went back down, played good defense, if I remember correctly, got the ball back. 21 again, went to the cup, got fouled, made 2 free throws. Now that's 4 points going to the hole. Houston was down by, 8, damn near 10 points? Houston was down by an amount of points that made you think that a win was not possible. But they still played within themselves, stayed with the game plan, played smart like a veteran team. They didn't panic. They took high percentage shots. 21 was there last year. He understands the situation because they went far in the tournament last year. They still have the same coach. They still have the same system. They have an understanding. He took it to the cup both times. 4 points. I'm trying to recall next play. I'm trying to remember, was there a foul? Was it something like that? Dude got fouled. I think there was a foul, and the Cooper flag dude, I think he got 2 free throws then. Houston got the ball back. I'm trying to remember where it was at that point. That might be the point where 21 got open again and hit a nice 3-pointer. He actually lost his dribble, was on the ground, kicked it back to the point guard, slid over to the wing. Dude kicked it to him. He let defender fly by him, nailed a clutch-ass 3, which made it a 3-point game. And I'm leaving a play somewhere out. Oh, I know what I'm leaving out. And again, the antithesis of what Auburn did, 21 went to the cup and took high percentage shots, got 4 points, working the score down, when they were not in as dire a situation as Houston was. Auburn was not down by as many as Houston, but they panicked. Those threes are cute when they go in. They're cute when they go in. At that point, they worked the score down. I believe that's when Auburn fouled. No. There were two different plays. Same guy. The light-skinned guy for Duke, he was going inside, dribbled the ball off his knee. That's when he gave it back to Houston. That helped. After the next shot, which might have been another 2 or 3, might have been 2 points. It was 2. They went in to 13. I think that's when maybe I'm still jumping ahead. I can't remember. That might have been when 13 made his 2 free throws. Maybe not. But the cat for Duke dribbled the ball off his knees out of bounds, and I believe the next possession he got fouled. He had a 1-and-1. Now, that was a crucial point in the game. If he makes those free throws, it's a different ball game. As well as Houston is playing, they still need mistakes from Duke. But what they did and what Kelvin Sampson talked about after the game was they put pressure on Duke. The score was no longer comfortable. They had knocked it down. They tightened up the score. They put pressure on Duke to have to do something. They weren't playing free and loose anymore. And none of them were stepping up like a Willie Clayton Jr. for Florida. So when homie, after he dribbled the ball off his knees, he then got fouled and got on the line. And I think this is when, after this possession, is when 21 hit that 3. But he got on the line, one-on-one situation, 1-and-1. He missed it. Rebound to Houston, homie got fouled right then. And I think they were in the bonus. So he went to the free throw line and he made his free throws. Another possession, they played good defense, got the ball back. I think that's when 21 hit the 3. Now it's a 3-point game. Houston comes back and stops them from getting a fucking inbound in from playing tough defense. They cause a timeout first. They stop them, get a timeout. They come back out after a timeout, and they steal the fucking ball. Homie gets the ball, dribbles it out to Ty, the point guard, shoots the 3, misses it. And I'm sorry, I left something else out. And I'm sorry for remembering shit as I go. Big man for Houston that was on the inbounds before all of this happened, he got a technical foul. This ninja lost his mind and reached out and slapped the ball out of the dude's hands when he's fucking inbounding. Technical foul. You know, a lot of curse words right there. Dude, what are you doing? You looking right there like that's what you like. Oh my, that might kill y'all, man. What are you doing? Y'all already down by enough. What are you doing? That gave them the ball back, the free throw and the ball back. Free throw made, they got the ball back, and Houston played good defense. So I left that out. Now, after that 3-point game, Duke has the ball. They can't get the ball in bounds. Timeout. They go back to do it again. Houston steals it, gets the ball back, shoots a 3. He misses it. Same player that reached out and got the technical catches the ball off the rim and emphatically throws it down. 1-point game. Duke fans, how are you feeling at this point? I'm sorry, Griff. How are y'all feeling at this point? A little nervous? No longer laughing? No longer smiling? Did you tell everybody to stop? Did you turn your hat around? Did you turn your jersey inside out? Did you tell everybody to stop talking or do something different than what they were doing, trying to shift the luck? What did you do at that point? You knew shit was bad, didn't you? I was emphatically cheering and enjoying that moment. 1-point game, and that's when more defense was played. 13 got the ball, and he got fouled, I think, on the other end. That's what happened. 13 got the foul, maybe the one from the Cooper guy. So he got fouled. He got on the free throw line. He made those 2 free throws. Now Houston had the lead. That's what happened. Outstanding ending, outstanding execution from Houston. The antithesis of what Auburn did. They executed. They didn't panic. They handled business. Excellent job by Houston, Kelvin Sampson, and his players. And it couldn't have happened to a better team in Duke. And hold on, Duke.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that. Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
That type of lead going down the stretch, that's got to be on the players and the coach a little bit, right?
Struggling.
Man, you sorry.
I'm really enjoying this. Sorry, Griff.
Struggling.
Man, you sorry. Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
Oh, my God. Duke is about to win. We're going back to the finals.
Hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
sitting there watching these here finals, I tell you what, them damn boys from Duke, they got a very high IQ. High IQ. And these boys about to beat Houston.
Hey, slow down. Watch your speed. Hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
I apologize. Not really. Just a Griff. Sorry, Griff. Oh, it's nothing better than watching Duke painfully lose a close game. Oh, if you just believe in him. Boko Rayshaw.
You must be on something.
He's coming in a Honda.
What? Nigga, please.
God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work.
You just trust and believe.
God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work.
Sorry, Griff. It couldn't have happened to a better team. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm so damn glad Duke lost. Woo! We're getting close to game time, I believe. We're getting close to game. I'm so damn glad Duke lost. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do this, but woo! I apologize, Griff. My bad. But
It's my house. You know what it is? And if you don't like it, you get the fuck out.
watching Duke lose in the closing minutes in dramatic fashion and the execution by Houston, oh, the defense, rejections, blocks, denials from the inbound. 13 stepping up and D'ing up America's favorite basketball player. Clean defense, stayed with him. When he faded back and jumped, he jumped with him. Bothered the shot, did not foul the man. And the shot was short to the left, off the rim. Rebound, foul, back to the foul line. Homie with the questionable hairline, but the smooth free throw shots. 2 shots in, 3-point game. Duke gets the ball back inbounds. Tough defense again. Tough shot for the same individual that dribbled the ball off his knee, missed the front end of a one-on-one. He then threw the game-winning attempt over the backboard into the stands and bleachers. Houston goes to the finals.
Ass is good.
Sorry, that's the wrong one.
God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work.
That's why I know there's a God. That's why I know there's a God. That's why I know there's a God.
I'm sorry. Oh, woo, woo. Oh, the Dukies, the Dukies.
God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work.
Oh, sorry, Griff. Woo, woo. Ah. Woo. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done. I'm done now. No. One more. Just one more.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he fight your battles? Won't he make your enemies your footstool? Won't he give you joy in sorrow? Won't he give you hope for tomorrow? Won't he dry your tears? Won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he? Won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he?
Boko Rayshaw. This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. Man, that was a good-ass game. That was a great game. That was a great game. Excellent basketball contest. Excellent basketball contest. Could you have even asked for a better ending? Could you have asked for better still shots of people distraught in the stands, probably and preferably and more than likely wearing blue and or some form of blue and white? The I can't believe that look on their faces. Hey. Here's a question. Why weren't you showing me unnecessary close-ups of Coach Krzyzewski when they were losing in the final seconds in an excruciating manner? I didn't see a bunch of close-ups on Krzyzewski at that point. What happened to that? And they're doing pregame. There's no time when the actual game's going to pop off. But what happened to that? Where's that at? When you thought they were going to win, you were unnecessarily showing him in the stands the whole damn time. Also, when Houston won, I get it, okay? I know y'all wanted Duke to win. I know. Why are you following Cooper, what's-his-face, to the damn locker room? Yes, he can play, but his team lost. He missed the game-winning shot. There's some guys on the other side that were clutched in the motherfucker down by a shitload of points. And the problem is, if you reverse that shit and Houston had that lead and they choked it away and Cooper Flag was the main and you make Cooper Flag or whatever his name is, he does what 21 did and brought them back for the most part and hit all those key shots. You think they're going to show 21 walking to the fucking locker room instead of showing the winning team fucking celebrating? Man, stop it. I digress. Great job by Houston. Great win. The Dukies! Oh, the diaper dandies! He's on my all-win next team. He wipes the glass. Oh, Poco Racer.
God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work.
I'm sorry. I'm really not. One more note on basketball, and then I'm off of it. Let me make sure. Let's check the notes that are actually on my phone. Got that. Yeah. But again, at the end of the day, when it was time to execute, Kelvin Sampson and Houston executed. Two notes. One, unfortunately, unless something was rectified, punk-ass security guard or whoever was in charge of the court, not recognizing or understanding the importance of who Akeem Olajuwon is, would not let Akeem Olajuwon go onto the court and celebrate. Was restricting Akeem Olajuwon with the snob ass shaking his head as if he didn't understand who that man was. And I'm almost certain if Coach Krzyzewski wanted to get on the court, he wouldn't have been stopped. Piss poor on the part of whoever that asshole in the blazer was. You don't know who Akeem Olajuwon is? Even worse, if you did know who he was and you didn't let him on the court just because you wanted to flex whatever authority you had that evening because you hate your life, you miserable motherfucker. What the hell is wrong with you? Anybody with common sense would have let that man on the court. One of the very few things that were upsetting about the evening. One more side note. Great win by UConn, and this is the only question I'll ask. I'm curious. I didn't watch it. Y'all let me know. Did they ask the UConn head coach a question about transgenders during the post-game interview? Like immediately on the court when it's about him and his team and what they did and the players? Did they take up some of that valuable time to ask him a transgender question? Because they did that to Don Staley last year after they ignored South Carolina for the entire year because they were too busy hyping up a player that they liked. They spent the whole time talking about Dr. Beckett. And those who listen to the train know who I'm referring to. They didn't care about a great team. They only cared about one player. So they ignored what Don Staley in South Carolina was doing. Did they not go undefeated and win a title? I believe they did. And it was barely getting mentioned. And when they finally won the game that y'all never wanted them to win, when the story that y'all wanted to come to fruition didn't happen, you wasted valuable time when you should have been giving her and her players credit, asking her a fucking question about transgenders. I'm just curious, did they ask him any transgender questions instead of using that time to congratulate him and his team? Did they do that? And if they didn't, that's why I can't stand these motherfuckers. I digress. Great win by UConn, but I doubt the media wasted some of his post-game press conference or his immediate post-game press conference on the court with everybody celebrating to ask him a fucking transgender question. No, they asked Coach Don Staley that shit on the stage, on the fucking championship stage, holding the trophy. They asked her that shit. Let's not talk about your team and the fact that we ignored y'all all year. Let me ask you some side shit. They wouldn't have asked Iowa about that shit if they won the goddamn game. That's the bullshit the media does. Motherfuckers.
You blind motherfucker.
I digress. But great win. Great win by Houston. And sorry, let's keep track here. Oh no, we're on the court. We're playing basketball. And the game is underway. We'll see how much longer the train is going to run. And I apologize for distractions I may have. Okay. Man, get on the ground, 1-3. Not a bad look. Little strong. It's already going to be an issue. I see that. I apologize. Let's get to the chat room. And yes, I'm taking Houston tonight. We'll see how it goes. Where I'm at here. Let me find my place in the chat room. Right there. Let's see. Read that one. MC is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy that Ninja. Forgive me trying to find my spot in the chat. Oh, here we go. I'm way down here. Okay, Sluggo, I got you. Added another cow. Cindy said, even the abbreviation of that got me flagged. Okay, chat room still restrictive. Sluggo said, even down 6 with just over 30 seconds left, Houston didn't play the foul game. They let it play out and got a big defensive stop. Again, great point. Facts. Again, Houston, Coach Sampson.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160.
Once again, Duke.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
Houston.
That boy is good.
Coach Sampson.
That boy is good.
Veteran players.
That boy is good. That boy is good.
Don't sleep on Houston. You heard the coach. Excuse me. Sidney Jackson said, I missed the whole Auburn, Florida game. Me and the boys hung out Saturday night, and the place we were at had the game on, but the local weatherman kept interrupting the game with bad weather updates. Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, that's very upsetting. Very upsetting, sir. Sluggo said, Houston snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Yes, they did.
That boy is good.
Sluggo said, Duke was getting calls the entire game. Yeah, that I agree too. But we're supposed to believe that Flag was robbed when the foul was called on him. Nigga, what? Yeah, and again, that's the narrative that'll happen for people that didn't watch the game. Or punk-ass, poorly shaped people shaped like a wisdom tooth that we won't mention on the show. But I mean, you know, it's things like that. Things like that. But yeah. And again, they were getting calls the whole game, but I'm pretty much banking on them staying out of it because, quite frankly, on top of those earlier calls, which I was annoyed by, they wouldn't have even given Houston the opportunity to do what they did. They just would have flagged them whether it was a foul or not in those closing seconds, just taking the game out of their hand. And they didn't do that. So even though they don't deserve credit for that, I'm kind of giving them credit for that. But yeah, you're right. But it is amazing that all of those calls happened earlier in the game. You don't have an opinion on that, and or you don't see that. But you're focusing on a call that, you know, went against, I don't know, a player you were rooting for, I guess. But yeah. And again, what they would say if the shoe was on the other foot, stop crying. One call didn't determine the game. Why didn't you do more in the first quarter? That's all the shit that people normally say. And again, Houston kept their composure, didn't complain, played through it, got back in the game, and took advantage of superior coaching and Duke choking. Superior coaching and Duke choking.
Who told you that?
That's what I saw. That's what I saw. That is simply what happened. As Sluggo said, Duke was getting calls the entire game, but we're supposed to believe that Flag was robbed when a foul was called on him.
What? Nigga, please.
Sluggo said, turn their hat around like Sylvester and over the top. Oh, yeah, like Sly Stallone and over the top when he was beating everybody arm wrestling and shit. Hey, man, that was a big-time movie at that young age. That shit, boy. We was on. I mean, it's not like we didn't arm wrestle anyway, but you going to tell me motherfuckers wasn't arm wrestling all over the place after that movie? Yeah, there's a lot of arm wrestling going on after that movie. Trying to do that little illegal ass move he was doing and shit. Yeah. Did y'all create an arm wrestling table and get some like grips, something to hold on to in regulation and make somebody held your hand still and you couldn't move your elbows to make sure everything was even? I was arm wrestling champ the more I think about it. Could anybody beat me arm wrestling? Let me think. You just brought up an old memory, man. Let me think about that in the neighborhood. Could anybody beat me arm wrestling? Let's start with homie. Nope. No. Nope. No. Who else in the neighborhood? No. Yeah, I was arm wrestling champ in my neighborhood. Sure was, sir. Brought up an old school memory right there. Sucko said with a higher IQ, Flag wouldn't have taken a. I'll clarify on this chat. Sluggo said with a higher IQ, Flag wouldn't have taken a fadeaway. He would have been he would have been better shooting one of those strong finger rolls from the free throw line. You motherfucker. That's funny, sir. Sluggo said with a higher IQ, Flag wouldn't have taken a fadeaway. He would have been better off shooting one of those strong finger rolls from the free throw line. I see what you did there.
God damn! What? Nigga, please.
You're funny, sir. The IQ comment is because there was somebody that commented that Duke was going to win because they had a higher IQ. They had a higher IQ was what was said. Rebound, man. They had a higher IQ. And when they were called out on that, to their credit, ooh, that's a heat check shot 2-1. But to their credit, they doubled down and stayed with it. They didn't try to say they didn't say it. What the fuck? How did he get away with that bullshit? Pass the ball to himself. Let's block out. I apologize. But to his credit, he doubled down and stayed with that dumb statement about them having a higher IQ. And my only question was, Kelvin Sampson's a veteran coach, and he has veteran players. What is the empirical evidence you have to tell me that there's a higher basketball IQ on the part of the Duke players with a younger team and a younger coach? What's your rationale? I just didn't believe it, but yeah, there was somebody that posted that. Very low-hanging fruit comment. Ooh, take it to the cup. But yeah. Interesting, sir. Interesting comment. And this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. I apologize as I'm looking into the game. So I will catch up with the chat. And I'll continue on because I have to, at a bare minimum, read the cows today. But again, excellent victory by them. That is the past. Now we're in the championship game. Florida taking on Houston. I have Houston in this game, going with the veteran team, with the veteran coach. And I mean, we'll sit back and watch what happens. But it should be a good basketball game. And it looks like they're being allowed to play defense. They're going to let both teams play, hopefully. That should make it a good game. Something enjoyable for everyone. Good hustle. Damn, called him out of bounds. If you're going to take, that wasn't necessarily a bad shot, but you damn sure got tight. All right, here's what it is. I apologize. Let me get back to the chat room. JBJ said those crackers were big mad. They were. They were. They really were. And it was funny to me. They were big mad, and to me it was hysterical, satisfying. Hysterical and satisfying. Worked for me. I've always taken joy out of watching Duke lose. It's always been a good thing. JBJ said those crackers were big mad.
That's why I know there's a God.
Yeah, there were some long faces in the crowd, and all I could think to myself was to fall out in hysterical laughter.
That's why I know there's a God.
But yeah, I agree with you, JBJ. When I was looking at those long faces, those disappointed faces, and for some reason, now the cameraman can't find Coach Krzyzewski.
That's why I know there's a God.
Sluggo said, if I recall correctly, number 13 was a 62% free throw shooter, but he knocked down both of those critical free throws. He knocked down both of those critical free throws. And again, I'm going to have to figure out where that is. But as a replacement, I can't believe I don't have that. As a replacement and a time saver.
Woo! Jesus. Woo! Jesus.
He did knock those shots down, sir.
Woo! Jesus.
He did knock those shots down. Snuggle said, Heartbreak Hotel for the Dukies, and you got to love that. You do.
Woo! Jesus.
Sorry, Griff.
Amen, preacher!
Snuggle said, I didn't watch any post-game pressers, but I'm sure Gino didn't have to field any silly questions. I'm sure you're right. Snuggle said, Nick, we're already at the first TV timeout, sir. Snuggle said, no, sir, we didn't have the luxury of building arm wrestling tables. Now, I mean, you know how you just construct some shit. You know, motherfucker get some hammers, some nails. You can make some things happen. You can rig some shit up. We got my man Rough Buff on the train. What's going on, sir? Just like Light Skywalker, also known as ABM, Rough Buff and ABM are former college basketball greats, so they look at the game in a different fashion when they're enjoying basketball, being former players. So I value their opinions, and I'm quite sure they're enjoying this basketball contest. Sidney Jackson said, my favorite part of Over the Top is when Sly went to his kid's school and was walking across the parking lot, and he pulled that clip-on tie off because he thought he was clean. He did have on a clip-on tie. Yeah. Hey, listen, you know the part that stands out for me? And there were a lot of them, but when the kid snuck out of his house and took that long jump from the window to the ground, because you can do that, don't ask me how I know, but a jump that looks a little bit too long, there's a limit to how far you can go, but you can jump further than you think. Oh, let's not do that. You can jump further than you think in necessary situations if you land properly, kind of, give with the fall, maybe do a little tuck and roll. There's a way that you land. Let's just, sometimes a window jump was necessary depending on what was doing and who came home. But, but when homie jumped out of that, it was a nice little jump, and then he went and stole the damn car and drove and shit. I always liked that part because he was going to go see his pop and shit, but that's hysterical. Homie did have on a clip-on tie. like he was sharp for real. Hey, the only thing that would have been better if they would have had him pulling off that clip-on tie in slow motion. JBJ said, arm wrestling champ. I was, homie. I was. That's real talk. Real talk on the arm wrestling champ, sir. Real talk.
Hell no.
Real talk. Real talk.
You're right. It's fact.
Who told you that?
I don't know why you doubting my credentials, sir.
Wait a minute.
Don't doubt my credentials, sir.
Hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
Yes, sir. Neighborhood arm wrestling champ. Yes, sir. Real talk, no cap. Real talk, no cap, as they say. But you have a right to judge. Do your thing.
Who raised you?
That's why I was going through it in my head to make sure before I said it. But yep, that was me. I'm looking back on it. Nope. Nobody in the neighborhood was fucking with me. No. No, nobody in the neighborhood was fucking with me. Oh, shit. Hold on one second. The interviews in the middle of the game are crazy to me. And I know there's a whole generation that grew up with this shit, so they don't think anything of it. But interviewing coaches during the middle of the fucking game, right before it, really, all of that shit is crazy. All of that shit is crazy. Man, you better finish. Come on now, let's go. Play ball. I apologize. Probably gonna hear some interruptions every now and again, but the interview thing is crazy to me. It's wild as hell to me. In the middle of a damn game. Nobody got time for that shit. Sluggo said Ninja had an unfair arm wrestling advantage standing on a booster box to reach said arm wrestling table. Motherfucker. Now that's a lie. A booster box. No booster box, sir, but we did rig something up where, because, in the arm wrestling tables, you got a little handle. You got a little handle you can grab or whatever. That was a clutch ass shot. You got a little handle to be stable. Then you got somebody to make sure y'all don't slide y'all elbows and all that shit. All that jerking and whatnot. But, arm wrestling, it's a, clean sport. To the point, it's a clean one-on-one type of deal. Nice. Just a clean one-on-one type of deal. I like the way that Houston still takes advantage of the inside game. Damn, heat check like a motherfucker. That was a heat check shot right there? Okay. I hear you. But that one, that was a heat check shot right there. That's interesting. Nice. I want to see if homie gonna throw up another one. I'd have to see him shoot another one. I'd give him the ball immediately. I would immediately give homie the ball again. Y'all need to check to see if homie still got that going. You might as well let that shit fly, homie. Let's see. There it is. I apologize. That's funny to me. Okay, let me get off of that. Where was I at? You know what? Actually, now I should get to the cows. Damn. Where we at? Sidney Jackson said, I hate the in-game interviews. I wish they would stop that shit. Let the coaches focus on the game. During the women's game, they weren't interviewing the players during the game. I hate that shit. It's goofy as hell, and it's not for people that played sports, because people that played sports realizes how fucking crazy that is. Damn good defense. People that played sports realize how crazy that is. I'm like, during the game, really? Great defense right there, man. Great defense. Great defense. Maybe get a better shot right there. But yeah, I can't stand that shit, man. When I first, because I went away for it, not because of the game and the players, it was just the things around the game. And then I came back and there was all kind of crazy shit. Replay, stopping to see if something's a flagrant 1 or 2. I mean, they kind of did that before, but now it's a whole different level with that shit. So it's all these other different things going on. And then, and all the crazy 3-point shots. But the in-game interviews where they just kind of stopped and just started interviewing people, I was like, for real? For real? In the middle of the game? For real? I'm like, that's wild. That's wild. In the middle of the game. Yeah, I just don't. At times when he would be over there talking to the team as they're walking out into the floor and you still kind of barking out last minute directions, this and that, da. He's over there supposed to give an interview pretending like he gives a damn about whatever they're talking about. That shit's crazy. You're actually requiring, slow down. You're actually requiring that coach to do something that could affect his team negatively. He's supposed to be coaching at all times. He can still get in last minute instructions at that point, unless y'all have made some type of time allotment for that didn't interview the normal time. He would be able to stand over there and yell things to his team right before the start of the game. But from what I understand, when they start doing that, sometimes the game will actually start because they do that stupid shit in football, and the game is actually being played. And they're talking to the damn coach. That is, and I'll be honest with you, when the coach doesn't look annoyed, that annoys me. You should be annoyed right now. You should. I hate when the coach. I know you're supposed to have your media persona and your smile, but when they look a little bit too happy to do that interview when they're righteously supposed to be coaching, that bothers me a little bit, actually. That bothers me, actually. I think the coach should be annoyed because it's ridiculous that you have to do a damn interview in the middle of a game. That man's supposed to be coaching, talking to his assistants, going down the bench, telling them damn shit, keeping them engaged so they feel like they're part of it, or for them to be ready when they go in. A good coach is coaching all the time, and during the time when he's supposed to be coaching, you want to ask this man random ass questions for the purpose of promoting the game and forcing this obligatory this little obligatory ass fucking interview where you making a coach fucking. It's bad enough you make them do it immediately after the game, but during the damn game, yeah, that's just wild. During the game is wild. Apologize for that pause. I was debating on, you know what? That would actually make more sense. No, that's way too. Let's go there. All right. My apologies. All right, let's see. We're caught up with the chat. As we're playing ball right before. Ooh. Good things happen when you go to the basket. I apologize for that dead air. I'm probably going to get to these cows and take care of everything by the time halftime's over with. All right, so as a matter of fact, let's check that. What was I going next here? I still got time. So let me give you a couple of things in college football, a couple of things in NFL football. Then I'll get into the Cow Awards and see where I want to go from there. I still need to talk about those SWAC championships, a couple of other little side things. And there was one more thing. I think I brought that up. Yeah, that was one more side thing. I believe I brought that up already. So I'm still going to give you these. I got a couple of NFL takes, a couple of takes on college football as well. Then I'll get into these Cow Awards and probably be out of here before the end of halftime. Houston's still playing very strong defense, but that's who they've been. That's what they do. They play tough defense. And I haven't, well, yes, I have been. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm sure they have one of their better defenders on Florida's top guy, and I'm sure they're not above giving him a little extra attention. Damn. When 2-1's on, he's on. That was an ugly shot for him to be that open. That was an ugly shot for him to be that open. I understand missing, but that was ugly. Fuck. I apologize. I understand missing, but damn, that shot was ugly. You slap that shit off the backboard and this dude hit you on the elbow or some shit. That almost, the way you shot that, you would think you got hit on the elbow or something. Okay, let's get to these NFL takes. All right, first take. No, let's go college football first. College football first. Damn. Heat check ass shot right there. Homie with the questionable edge. Don't blame him. When you got that type of edge, though, you got to keep your hair. Boy, better play some defense, boy. Give it up. Good pass. There we go, baby. That's how you play basketball. That's a fast break. Not pulling up and shooting a damn three-pointer. That's a fast break. That's a fast break. I apologize. This is why I shouldn't watch a game while I'm watching the show. That's a fast break. That's how you execute a damn fast break. Shooting threes during a damn fast break. Get the ball to the damn open man. Good pass, sir. Shit, better catch and finish. Houston with the suffocating defense. That's why I'm going to give these football takes first. Oh, get that. I'm going to give these football takes first because while the game's on, I'll be no good for the Cows. Give the Cows during halftime. Good pass. Boy, not banking three-pointers. You did not call bank. I refuse to believe you called bank. I apologize, but I gave you a little pre-warning. I'm going to get off of this in a second. Woo! Woo! Pressure butts pipes and makes diamonds. A lot of basketball left. Yeah. Put your arms out on that one. Off the glass. Say, there you go. Be honest. Be honest about that one. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that, boss. I didn't mean to do that. I'll take it. Didn't mean to do it. I apologize. All right. Sorry. It's very early. It's very early, but I'm sure JBJ is cussing me out. And if he's anything like me, he's thinking about typing. Something I found interesting, and let me grab the details on that. Let me grab the deets on that, as my child would say. Something I found interesting as far as college football. And let me read this in its entirety. The NCAA's FBS Oversight Committee would not recommend a waiver to permit Colorado and Syracuse to face each other in the spring, according to On3's Griffin McVeigh. The committee cited academic concerns, potential recruiting advantages, and other programs likely being unable to schedule a similar game per McVeigh. Colorado head coach Deion Sanders proposed a spring game against another program earlier in March. Syracuse bench boss Fran Brown appeared to accept the invitation on X shortly thereafter. For the NCAA to pretend like they were concerned about academics and recruiting advantages, academic concerns is fucking laughable. You're allowing teams that have nothing to do with other teams regionally to be in their division and travel ridiculous lengths for regular season games. Miss me with academic concerns. I think that was actually a good thing that he wanted to play different teams in the spring game, bring a little excitement to it, show his teams a different opponent. I don't think there was a reason to shoot that down. I actually think that's a good idea. And I remember when he first proposed it, I like that a lot more than teams like, I believe, Texas, and there's another team that aren't even going to have a spring game. There's another team, I think Nebraska, they're going to do a skills competition instead of a spring football game. That's interesting. That's interesting. But they're not even going to have a spring football game, and you're still talking about something where you're really still not necessarily full contact. But spring football is something that people look forward to. It's something you can see your players get better, and it's better to see them against different competition. I think having that type of game was a good idea. I guess they didn't like the two coaches that decided to do it. They didn't want them to be the originators in the inaugural spring game against different teams in college football. But I didn't see anything wrong with that idea. And to pretend like you cared about traveling concerns and academics is a motherfucking joke. You don't care about that at all. Stop it. Please stop. You have teams traveling cross country to play regular season games. Oregon playing Ohio State in Columbus during the regular season and or vice versa. That's great academically. Stop it. Stop it. This is an instance for me of over policing by the NCAA. I would have liked to have seen that, to be honest. I think that would have been cool. So Deion turned down for that. But I actually, still like to watch spring football. And I appreciate the fact that not only was Deion not trying to get rid of spring football, he was actually trying to step it up a little bit, make it even more interesting. Oh, good rebound. So I like the fact that, damn, look at that. I like the fact that Deion was trying to keep spring football going and actually bring in another opponent, bring another element of excitement to the game. And it's interesting to me that Texas and at least one other team are not even going to have a spring game. And you also have Nebraska. I think it's Nebraska that is just going to have a skills competition. Found that to be interesting. Spring football now becoming a thing of the past for certain teams. And, if it's an injury thing, I guess I see those concerns, but that's wild. Coach Sanders also got a 5-year extension, reportedly worth $54 million. I'm not big on numbers, but well-deserved extension and deal. What he's done for the program, the projection that they have thus forward. Colorado's being smart and paying him now, not letting it come to the point where other teams are looking at him and all of that. They're just taking care of that now. And that's smart to do. That's smart to do on the part of Colorado. Any coach that, has this much going at a school like Colorado would have other teams coming for him. So you want to show him that you're with him and you're behind him and you're going to allow him to do things his way, which is going to be, more motivation to stay there with that program as opposed to jumping around and hoping that the grass is greener somewhere else at an alleged bigger school with a quote-unquote bigger name or bigger brand, or what's the other cliche that's thrown out there that's supposed to be important? What's the other one? Not traditional power, but something along those lines. But, whatever bullshit statement that they pretend, just like making that statement that this sport is better when this team is good. No, the sport's fine when whatever team is good is good. That doesn't. That's something the journalist made up. I guess you mean to say it's easier for me to write a story if this team is good. Maybe you meant to say that shit. Latest on Primetime, spring game turned down by the NCAA, and a new 5-year deal or an extension on a new 5-year deal or extends his 5-year deal worth $54 million. So congratulations to Coach Sanders, and Looking forward to seeing Colorado football and a lot of football next year, actually. Staying with college football, MC is the Underground Railroad show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Staying with college football, and I didn't talk about this much, but Stanford's coach, Taylor, who was dismissed, and he's accused of mistreating female staff members. And when I looked into the detail, my problem with this, and I'm consistent on this, is I need specifics. The only thing the article said was that he was bullying female staffers who were trying to warn him about potential violations or something like that. The term bullying, whenever I see that, I just kind of shake my head. Because I'm going to be honest with you, that's what that moist-ass ninja said that, I can't remember the football player. I think it was an ex-Eagle. And was it Michael Smith? Said he was being bullied or threatened or something like that, and he got dude fired. Probably, just bullied. So he actually didn't do anything. You didn't like the way he was talking to you. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're in a football environment, you need to adjust to the environment. And I've always said that when concerning football, you're going to be part of it. That's fine. The environment is not adjusting to you. You adjust to the environment. He shouldn't have to turn on a new face and soften language or not be able to speak with authority because you're going to claim, I didn't feel comfortable because he didn't soften up. Man, he don't got time for that bullshit. And if you're I don't know what happened, but if all he did was speak to you sternly, you need to toughen the fuck up. If you're going to be involved in sports, you're not qualified if you feel you're getting bullied if somebody speaks to you sternly or doesn't give a damn about what you're saying. The coach doesn't care about a lot of administrators, but you get to play and pretend like it's because you're a woman. If he was a dude, he wouldn't give a shit about what you were saying either. If you're talking about, hey, this player might have done this, why are you looking for shit to get in trouble about? When I read the article and that's all they had was the word bullied, and we're talking about Stanford football, I just don't see it. What violation are you? What violation? What? He had some kind of chips? What were players doing at Stanford? It just couldn't have been that deep. I just think this is one of those situations where certain people feel like they need to be handled a certain way, and you need to be part of the environment. Football it's aggressive, and with everything you have going with coaching, the thing that messes up a lot of good coaches, and I'm not saying he was a good coach, but I'm not going to stop everything I'm doing because you want to talk to me about a potential violation or something. It's just, I'd like some real details because if something actually happened, they would have given me some type of detail. All I got was, and again, bullied female staffers. So you're telling me out of everybody, he only bullied female staffers, or female staffers were the ones that didn't like his tone? If you're going to be part of this environment, you have to give me something other. Unless he was saying, dumbass woman who don't know nothing about football, get away from me, dumb broad and stuff like that. But if he's talking to you like everybody else, I think that's another check in the column of why certain environments should remain a certain way. But that language was interesting to me. But the thing that threw me off is Stanford. I just don't. What is happening at Stanford? What kind of major violations going down at Stanford? I don't know. I apologize. I'm watching the closeout, and then I go into hyperdrive. Also in college football, Ohio State football. Ryan Day says, nice mid-range shot. The quarterback battle is tight between Sayan and Keanos. And I'm probably messing up that dude's last name, but I'm just tripping that was said. I remember watching, that's that Lincoln guy. Lincoln Keanholz, or whatever his name is, and Sayan are neck and neck to be the starting quarterbacks for The Ohio State University. That is the report out of Ohio State football. Sayan and Lincoln Keanholz. Sayan is not that good if he's neck to neck with Lincoln. Lincoln was very underwhelming every time I've seen him in a game. Will Howard was underwhelming for most of the season. Take it to the fucking cup. How is that not goaltending? What the fuck? Maybe I missed something. Maybe it came out the rim. Good sequence for Florida right there. How is that not goaltending? Maybe it came out the rim. Good sequence for them. Good sequence for them. Homie feeling it today. Yeah, at this pace, this is going to be nowhere near the total points that I called. Nice shot for him right there. And that like a goal 10. Just didn't finish. I apologize, but disheartening news. Aaron Nolan was right there. He wasn't being given a real opportunity. That's why he left. To have him at the bottom of the depth chart was just telling him that you are now not part of our plans, even though we recruited you. That's crazy. But I'm not impressed with saying if that Lincoln Kienholz guy is anywhere near him in the fight for the quarterback battle. That gives me even less confidence. But again, I wasn't impressed with Will Howard for most of the year, so we'll see how this shit goes. But I hope that Ohio State doesn't think. I hope that we don't think we can be mediocre or so-so all year as far as execution and maximizing our talent and just turn it on at the right time. I hope they don't think that that's how it's going to be. Disappointed in the quarterback room. Disappointed that Aaron Nolan wasn't given a fair chance. If he went to South Carolina, even though I didn't like that because I want him to go somewhere where I think he's going to get a fair chance to play, he obviously is not afraid of competition if he went to South Carolina with a guy that was a true freshman that played his ass off. Obviously, he's not in fear of competition because I'm sure he had other options. He obviously doesn't mind competing. He simply wasn't given that opportunity at Ohio State, and that's one of the things that really bothered me about the way the program is being run now. Bullying was wild as hell to me. Man, what the hell? I turned and missed that. There was a time when they would have given him that foul automatically when he hit the floor. Pretty good closeout by Florida. All right, now let me get into it now that we let's check the chat room, get into these Cow Awards. Sidney Jackson laughing. It might be at me. Sluggo said, Houston's defense is on full display. Yeah, facts. Sidney Jackson said, Ninja loves the fundamentals. You can tell from my commentary, right, sir? Sluggo laughing said, facts, Sidney. Rub Up said, Ninja play-by-play is like watching Kung Fu movies on Saturday afternoon. Okay. All right, Ruff. You always saying my shit's on delay. That's fine. That's fine. We got that dude Shaka on the train. What's going on, Shaka? Thank you for coming aboard, sir. Shaka coming aboard saying, goddamn right, Ninja. Most of Houston's points are in the paint. 10 out of 12, 10 to 12-foot jumpers. What up, folks? Yeah. And it's just a brand of basketball that'll have your shot going if you give it a chance. Yeah, but Shaka, yeah, definitely that, sir. As we're sitting on halftime, and going through. Forgive me for the pause. Shaka coming aboard the train emphatically saying, God damn! Right, Ninja. God damn! Sluggo said, kids are flying from California to New Jersey By now we're concerned, but now we're concerned about academics. Exactly. The fuck out of here. Sydney said, preach, Sluggo. These greedy folks are not concerned about these students. Not at all. Talking about academics. Okay, I believe you. Not really, but I believe you. See, the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. Sluggo gave me an additional cow. And you know what? I see that cow and I'm with you, sir. Let me find your, I'll get back to that. Let me find your original. And here we go. These are it right here. That's a damn shame. Has it been, did I miss the cows that long? Are these the ones I haven't read? Let me read this. Nope, that's not it. I read those. I read that. That can't be it. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah, I got them. Okay. I got those 3. Okay, I got you, sir. I got those 3, and I got your new one. I got you. Okay, I got you, sir. I got them. All right, so we have 4 cow awards to read, and I'm going to give you a quick NFL take on a couple of NFL stories. I'm going to give you those cows, and I'll probably get ready to pull this train into the station so I can sit back and enjoy the second half, or the majority of the second half. That is my plan anyway. Before I do that, let's take a quick siesta so I can handle something. And while I do that, you can enjoy a classic call from a classic listener who was here for the first 2 years and wreaked much havoc on the train. I give you a classic call from none other than Grego.
This is the Underground Railroad Show with ThatNinjaOnSpeaker.com, 4th annual show on religion. Caller, what's your name, where you calling from, and what do you want to talk about?
Well, I can't give you my name, but I want to sing a hymnal to go to the show. So, if you could just back me up, could you just give me the tune of You got the animals 2 by 2, the ox and the kangaroo. Pack the ox so tight, you don't sleep at night. Know the sun, dick and hell, tell the master play. Oh my Lord,
Why do you know the words of that song? Why do you know the words? That was the first one. Oh, my head hurt. Oh, shit. Oh, son. Oh, shit. Why do you know the words of that song? Oh, shit. My head hurt. Hold on. I'm sorry. God damn. Oh, why do you know the words of that song? Those were the actual words. Oh, I'm sorry. God damn. Let me get my composure. Oh, fuck. This is the Underground Railroad Show. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, my chest. God dang it. Oh, fuck. Oh, my stomach hurt. Why do you know the words of that song? Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. God dang it. Oh. Whew. Oh, shit. Okay, where was it? JB Jenny says that damn Grego. Now everybody's laughing at that damn phone call. Exactly. What the fuck? How did he know the words to that damn song? PNP. Boy, y'all are stupid. Man, that was funny as hell. Exactly. I was crying like a motherfucker. Dude, oh Lord. To know the words for that song, JB Jennings says Grego got to get an award for that one.
Amen, preacher!
ABM said Call of the Year favorite.
Amen, preacher!
Sidney Jackson said the back of my neck hurting. Bama Boy said my eyes. G-Money said Ghost is stupid. Sluggo said, damn, I missed that. That ninja has come unglued. ABM said, I'm hollering. The Ghost said, laughing my ass off. Who was that? Yeah, right.
Motherfucker.
Oh, shit, Bama Boy said, I can't see. G-Money said, my stomach. JB says, Ninja give that man an award pronto. Oh, shit. Oh, Ghost said, man, I've seen that movie 30 times. ABM said, I died on that song and he brought me back. Bama Boy said, I will have a six-pack in the morning. My stomach hurt with all the laughing. Bama Boy said, I'm sorry. Angry Black Man said it hurts laughing on a full stomach. G-Money said he ain't got no damn sense. PNP said this might be possibly the best day of my life at 2020. JB Jennings said Grego got that ninja calling on the Lord. Tears. Oh. PNP said Ninja's laugh makes everything okay. Fuck this virus. Oh, I'm sorry. Go back. Ninja's laugh makes everything okay. Fuck this virus in its ass. Dear God, I miss you Negroes.
This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Couple of quick NFL takes, man, then I'm going to read these Cow Awards. Get ready to enjoy the second half. That looks like it's going to be a good one. Couple of NFL observations, both concerning the Dallas Cowboys. Trey Lance traded to the Chargers. My humble opinion, he obviously should have been a starter in San Francisco. They wanted to keep the guy that they have because they like the way that he looks. Sorry. I think I'm getting a... Okay. Sorry. Work text. Okay. Some shit concerning work I had to look at. Okay. That's fine. So Trey Lance traded to the Chargers. I mean, if he has a better opportunity to play, I guess I get it to a degree. My original problem, he never should have been out of San Francisco. A lot of people that didn't watch him as closely as me, maybe. If you just believe whatever the media writes, you'd actually think that Brock Purdy is better than him. I question your football IQ. He's a game manager at best. And every time that, at any rate, San Francisco is going to get exactly what they deserve. Great coverage and results that don't add up. Last year, they had a terrible season. Nobody remembers. All you remember is a story where they said Brock Purdy gave his offensive lineman trucks. Nothing about how terrible he played. Nothing about the shitty season. Nothing about being predicted to go to Super Bowl. Okay, that's fine. But San Francisco low-balled and white-balled Trey Lance, in my opinion. Went to Dallas where he was never going to get a real chance to play. They have their quarterback. Now he's going to the Chargers with a guy that's being promoted. It's something that he's not, in my opinion. Sorry, looking at a work issue. Okay. Text messages at night. I digress. Let me kick back. But Trey Lance to the Chargers, I mean, honestly, with at least the talent that they have, but the talent that they have, giving him that opportunity would be great for the team. It's a great pickup. I just question him getting a real opportunity. But I would love for him to get one if Herbert goes down. I would love for him to get it if Herbert doesn't go down. I think he's a better quarterback with better potential. He's never been given an opportunity to play. Nobody pays attention to Herbert having high turnover numbers, not achieving, failing every year, with top-tier talent, by the way, and never being over-scrutinized and microanalyzed at every turn. I love for Trey Lance to get that type of opportunity somewhere at one point or another. He's never gotten that. I love to see it. I love to see it. But Trey Lance to the Chargers, which caused me to question the intelligence of Dallas, although they have a QB. But if you're going to keep a prominent backup, you had one, you didn't have to get rid of him. The second thing, and let's start here. Joe Milton III, as soon as the Patriots hired Mike Vrabel, I said that Joe Milton is gone. As soon as I saw that they hired Mike Vrabel, fired that ninja after one fucking year, fired him after 1 year, brought in fucking Mike Vrabel, who did a terrible job at Tennessee that never gets mentioned because the media loves him. In my opinion, the media seems to love any coach that derails the career of a quarterback that looks like Malik Willis. He did that. They seem to love him. And Malik got an opportunity to come back and show you that asshole was wrong the same way he was wrong about Derrick Henry. But again, I digress. As soon as they hired Mike Vrabel, I knew that Joe Milton had no chance. He was not going to give him a chance. I think because they let because they let my man go in 1 year and he was aware of it. That's why he played Joe Milton the last game or two and actually let him play. He looked really good. And that was my first issue. Fuck Mike Vrabel sideways with a chainsaw with intravenous fluid feed. Don't like him. I know he's an Ohio State Buckeye. Don't like him as a coach. Asshole, not that smart, and seems to have an affinity for mediocre white quarterbacks. Let me say that again. He seems to have them in New England the same way it did in Tennessee, period. Then this asshole trades Joe Milton to the Cowboys. I would have rather Joe Milton wins. He had interest for multiple teams, and I would have rather he went to one of those teams where maybe he had a real shot. I don't trust the Cowboys, and again, they have their quarterback despite the intense press coverage. If Herbert has played like Prescott has over these past years, he would get praised for it. As a matter of fact, he has. When he's done less. With more. I don't trust Dallas. They're kind of like a layover. Like for Trey Lance, he was never going to play there. Now they've shipped him off again. With other teams interested, I would have rather he went somewhere else where maybe he would have got a real opportunity at one point. As opposed to Dallas, an organization that I cannot trust because of I don't want your black ass at my school, Jerry Jones. Can't trust them. Can't trust that organization. I tried to defend them for years, but due to results and empirical evidence on the field, I can no longer do that. So those were two different trades I shake my head at for a multitude of reasons. One last take on the NFL. Out of everything that's happening in the league, everything they could talk about, everything they could improve, everything they could do, they spent time to emphasize that they're going to take a hard look at doubling down even more on stopping what they call to be taunting.
Jesus, wow. Come on down and kill that monkey, Jesus.
Grown-ass men getting paid to play football, and you're worried about taunting. Taunting is a moist-ass word. Nobody that plays cares about that shit, and that should be all that matters. Nobody that plays cares about that shit. And they're always looking to take that down further and further. Just for certain players, as we see, those who need suntan lotion can do whatever gun motion they want, and they don't get fined, and there's no big deal. And that's my problem most of the time. Through observation, most people, especially sheeple, don't get upset until they're told to be upset. What I mean by that is you're bombarded with the same story over and over again, and eventually you just roll with it. The repetition of a story doesn't increase my concern for said story. It matters to me or it doesn't, whether it's covered or not. I hate that damn taunting rule, and now they're going to make it even worse. Annoying as hell. That's the last thing you should be worried about, because that is to please somebody that probably never played and doesn't even understand the game. That's what annoys me. I hate that. Taunting. And they've brought that penalty out at times that really have hurt teams. You should never call stupid shit like that when it can hurt a team at a crucial point in the game. It's not that serious. I don't like him standing up or spinning the ball at this particular point. But now I've seen players do worse and you don't call shit. And the problem is, let's just tell the truth. White people are not offended by white people do. A white person yelling and being out of control is just, he's just upset. It's no big deal. A ninja does the same thing and they have a completely different reaction. If you've been alive for longer than 30 years, you know that to be true. Those are the same people making these calls. They're not equipped to do it. Don't like it, because they're more offended by a ninja doing the same shit than they are a Caucasian player. So I don't like that. It can affect the game, and I've watched it affect the game. That's the last thing they should be worried about, and they're actually doubling down on that shit in the off season. Get the fuck out of here. Hate that Trey Lance hasn't gotten a real shot, and I hate that Joe Milton is with the Cowboys. I would have rather he went somewhere else. I don't trust that organization. Don't trust it. Sluggo said, what did the Chargers give up for Lance? Oh, JBJ said he was a free agent, so he didn't give up anything. Yeah, that was interesting. Interesting. All right, let me get into these cows, man, so I can then get ready to enjoy the second half. As a matter of fact, let me double check. Everybody get started already? These halftimes used to really be extended. All right, let's get into these cows. We got 4 cow awards, all coming from Sluggo. Cow awards are the colonizer of the week. Talking about stories that are ignored by the mainstream, usually concerning heinous acts aimed at the black community that doesn't appear to pull at their heartstrings. I say that because it's not covered with the same vigor and ferocity that negative stories about us are covered with. So the colonizer of the week is given out to highlight these stories that are buried by the mainstream and to give a clear understanding of where we are and the type of things that happen all of the time. So when people say things like America's not a racist country, if you're armed with this information, you know how ridiculous that statement is. And it's either made by somebody that is unaware or trying to feel you or lead you into either somebody that is uninformed, unaware, or somebody that is trying to give you misinformation. Either way, being armed with the truth is an advantage. 1 second. Get these situated. And this is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Watching the championship game tonight, Florida versus Houston. Tight game. And ABM did confirm in the text thread that was a goaltend. I thought it was live, and I don't understand how you missed that. It's literally somebody's job to watch the ball in that particular situation as it's around the rim to look for goaltending and or other infractions. It's literally your job. So I don't understand that. That looked like a goaltend to me from here, and they didn't call it. So, I don't know. Well, I do know that's unacceptable. I do know it's unacceptable. You have to do better than that. As the second half is underway, we're going to read these cows. Got 4 cow awards from Sluggo. Again, colonizer of the week, to clarify and reset, is to point out heinous stories generally done by the lighter hue towards African Americans that are ignored by the media that is mainly made up of the lighter hue and not punished properly. Thank you for not. I'm really enjoying this game because I'm not seeing a lot of, and I know delayed. I'm just going to get in the way and jump on the ground and motherfuckers give you credit for that whole shit. How about playing some defense? I digress. Let me stop. But simply pointing out these things that are not covered by the mainstream because apparently they don't pull at anybody's heartstring. Ooh. Okay. Mm-hmm. These are going to be some slightly chopped up cows. But I got y'all. Defense is allowed in this game, and Houston is playing it. That was that 2-1? How many points does Clayton Jr. have? Wonder who they have on him. High percentage shot. Forgive me as I'm putting up the cows on a secondary device. Well, regardless, Florida has somebody stepping up today. All right, here we go. Kelvin Sampson coaching and snapping on somebody, rightfully so. Did y'all really just show the sideline while the ball was being turned over? Y'all are wild as hell, boy. Camera work in basketball is getting just as bad as football. Okay. All right. I do believe that we didn't see the damn play because they were showing the coaches on the sideline. They always try to make this shit such a damn theatric. Okay. Goddamn, son. Did I really just do that? My apologies. 1 second. Cord getting caught up. Let's get that off. All right, there we go. All right, now we're set up. All right, we got 4 cow awards from Sluggo. And the first one reads as follows. Cow nomination to a firefighter. Damn, hold on. One more thing. Sorry. Got to get one more thing in place. And the beginning of this one already has me shaking my head. So surprised at the shocked, actually. I'm sorry about commentating about the game. Interesting. That is really surprising. Okay, let's see. And hope everything's where it's supposed to be. Almost in place. 1 second. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, now we're where we need to be. Damn, homie, stay on the ground. Wow, didn't see it going that way. 5 fouls for Florida, none for Houston. That is shocking. But let me see here. Is this all off the ball shit? And he called dude. What was it, a hook? Okay, I apologize. Shocking. Didn't think Houston would get the benefit of calls. Homie must have got frustrated. Didn't see that coming. Forgive me for my delayed pause and this shit. That shit crazy. Ooh. Missing freebies, nigga. I'm sorry. Let me get to the cows. All right, my bad. First cow award. No, that didn't happen. Okay, here it is. About to say. All right. First cow award comes from Sluggo and it reads as follows. Cow nomination to a firefighter who took and shared photos of 2 black teens found dead on a Georgia mountain. Wow. And a secondary cow to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations for hastily ruling the deaths a murder-suicide. They always, they really come to quick conclusions about us in these situations. Let's go! Let's go! My bad. According to 11 Alive, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has confirmed the arrest of a Town County volunteer firefighter. They were arresting him? For misdemeanor charges of obstruction in connection to the case of twin brothers found dead at the peak of a North Georgia mountain. Hold on. Twin brothers found dead on a mountain and you called it a murder-suicide and they're black? Ooh. Ooh. Might as well keep playing aggressive, though. Yeah, they had to put somebody in there to match their physicality. Oh, the hook. Called him for the hook. I'm sorry. Twin brothers, black found murder-suicide. Okay. According to the GBI release on Tuesday, the volunteer firefighters, shared death scene photos publicly. How stupid are you? Number one, you're a moral motherfucker. You weren't supposed to do that in the first place. Number two, you know what that reminds me of? Remember when those motherfuckers did that with Kobe? Those policemen did the same shit. Nobody said a word. Those policemen did the same shit. Took pictures and shit. I don't think anything happened to them either. All right, I digress. Back to it. The GBI also said a medical examiner had completed autopsies of the twin 19-year-olds, Quadir and Nazir Lewis, but the official ME ruling and results are pending additional forensic autopsies. Are pending upon additional forensic tests. The firefighter is not being charged directly in the deaths of the twin brothers. He was fired on March 14th for violating the department protocol. Okay, well, at least that, but at least that. And I apologize. Are you fucking getting Quadir and Nazir? So I know they were black. Murder-suicide on a mountain. On a mountain. Murder-suicide on a mountain. That's your fucking... I'm sorry. I continue. The firefighter is not being charged directly in the deaths of the brothers. He was fired on March 15th for violating the department protocol. Towns County Commissioner Cliff Bradshaw told 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn Towns County Jail confirmed that the firefighter bonded out of jail. On March 8th, the twins were found shot to death at the top of Bell Mountain by a hiker near the North Carolina border. They were shot to death and you called it a murder-suicide? Okay. The GBI said the two brothers were believed to have died in a murder-suicide. Through family members strongly disputing this conclusion, the discovery came as a shock to their family, who had believed the twins were in Boston visiting friends at the time. The twins were inseparable, according to family members, and had no known history of conflict. We want answers. We want to know exactly what happened to the twins. Their aunt, Samira Bronner, said. The family said that the brothers had booked a flight to Boston for 7 a.m. last Friday, but never made their flight. Just 24 hours later, they were found dead in the area the family said they had never visited before. Two twin brothers found shot dead in a fucking mountain in an area that they don't fuck with, and you're calling it a murder-suicide? Niggas don't even do shit like that for real. And when we do, we definitely twin brothers on a mountain, and when they don't even fuck with mountains, get the fuck out of here. But again, as I've always said, when you have people judging you that aren't interested in finding the truth, things like this will happen. I just don't believe if they had found two twins that were Caucasian, that they would come to the conclusion that they killed themselves so they could wrap it up in a nice package and be done with it. Bad people are being found hung and dead in situations and spaces that do not concern us stereotypically. Not really stereotypically, generally. And police departments and investigators, comprised of the people that are probably committing these heinous crimes, are saying we're committing suicide. A ninja committing suicide by way of hanging at work after making deliveries. Let me go complete my job and then go hang myself in some random fucking place. Are you fucking kidding me? There's a reason why I give not the disclaimer, but the closing that I give at the end of the show. Volunteer firefighter and the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, you might not win in a tough field, but you will be recognized.
Jury has found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread, chicken shit motherfucker.
You will be discarded in the prisons of hell.
Second cow nomination comes from Sluggo and it reads as follows. Cow nomination to the Winter Haven police officers who held a black woman and her 3-year-old child at gunpoint. According to the Black Information Network, the Winter Haven Police Department in Florida is facing backlash after a viral photo appeared to show an officer pointing a gun at a black toddler lying on the ground with her hands behind her back. Per Atlanta Black Star, the photo stems from the department's response to a 911 call on Tuesday regarding a disturbance involving a gun at a local market. During a fight with a store employee, police said a man identified as Godfrey Hercules II, Godfrey Hercules II, pulled out a gun. The man, however, didn't open fire and left the scene in his car with his girlfriend, Mariah Banks, and her 3-year-old daughter. Hercules was later apprehended after being stopped by police. Body camera footage shows officers encountering Banks and her child and shouting orders to get on the ground. Banks complied and her daughter followed suit, lying on the ground and putting her hands behind her back. Video taken by a bystander appeared to show an officer pointing his gun at the mother and child as they were laying on the ground. The mother was handcuffed, detained, and taken into the back of a police vehicle before a child told the officers, "Don't kill us." The article goes on to say the Winter Haven Police Chief Vance Moreau also addressed the backlash from the incident after the footage went viral. The optics were terrible, Monroe said. I truly wish that the child was not exposed to this. No, neither should the mother have been. There's a certain way to handle the goddamn situation. You just like to pretend like y'all didn't treat Peyton Gendron like that. He murdered 10. He committed a massacre of 10 black people in Buffalo. He was standing up in handcuffs. You didn't do that to him. So don't goddamn, and I don't know what's the different police department. They ain't the goddamn point. The point is there's consistency amongst the people that are employed because of the way that they feel. They should not be allowed to police us. They cannot do it properly. And they take more offense to that than the actual act being committed here. But I digress. Mrs. Banks went to the ground. Her daughter just went to the ground with her. We did not order her daughter to the ground, he added. Banks said her daughter was following an officer's orders. He had an incident and pulled the gun. Let me see what dude did. What did he do? Let me see what he did again. A 911 call. During a fight with a store employee, he pulled out a gun, and then the store employee called 911. And you are gung-ho about that. That's an overreaction. Now, brandishing the gun may be a crime, but you went extra because of who was doing it. But again, I don't know how much I believe the statements that you didn't have the child get on the ground, you weren't being aggressive. I've seen them do this to children before. Unfortunately, we've had 2 or 3 cow awards where they've done this to children, and we're unapologetic about it. As a matter of fact, they charged an 11 or 12-year-old girl with assault of an officer just so the girl wouldn't charge them with assault because they mistreated her. Again, they do this to black children because they believe they can get away with it. Simply stop sending white people to police because obviously they're too fucked up to do it properly. Or you train them to do so. Either way, send them somewhere else. I'd love to see them do that to a white person that actually didn't do anything. Now, crazy-ass white person screaming and brandishing the gun, okay, sir. But again, murdering 10 old black people in Buffalo doesn't get you roughed up. He was standing up calm and comfortable. Calm and comfortable. Should have been assassinated. Not assassinated, murdered. Killed. Rightfully so. Should have been. But, I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But situations like this are why we say on this show on a weekly basis.
I don't like fucking cops.
And because this might have been on delay or I might have stepped on the soundbite.
I don't like fucking cops.
You might not win in a tough field, but you will be recognized.
Jury has found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread, chicken shit motherfucker.
You will be discarded in the prisons of hell.
Third cow nomination comes from Sluggo, and it reads as follows. Cow nomination to the NYPD police who assaulted a 32-year-old black woman by the name of Kiana Moody. According to Atlanta Black Star, all Kiana Moody wanted to do was purchase cotton candy from Coney Island for a 5-year-old daughter, but the maternal decision landed the 32-year-old black woman, hold on one second, in jail after she was beaten and arrested by a group of New York police NYPD officers who accused her of illegally operating an e-bike without a license. Illegally operating an e-bike without a license plate. What a goddamn tragedy. Jesus Christ, you definitely must get her under control or society will fall apart. You ignore murder. Y'all choked somebody to death over cigarettes because he was a nigga. Wore a t-shirt and laughed about it. The fuck are you talking about? Operating accuse her of illegally operating an e-bike without a license plate. Well, goddamn. One cop, Lieutenant Daniel Lacomita, even called her a black bitch. Yeah, what a shock. While arresting her. I mean, what a shock. I mean, until these motherfuckers fall, what else is going to happen? What a shock. They choked a man out to death and wore a t-shirt the next day laughing about it. What a shock. Need you to make your free throws right there, man. Need you to make your free throws right there. While arresting her. According to a notice of claim, her attorney filed against the city last month, which is the precursor to a lawsuit. The cops then threw her face first into the back of the patrol car with her hands cuffed behind her back, which is a violation of department policy. Yes, they always follow department policy. Of course, they're outstanding people. According to the notice of claim, because it can lead to a potential or positional asphyxia. Why are you pretending like these motherfuckers obey the law anyway? A condition where an individual's position prevents adequate breathing. The abuse continued at the 60th precinct as she was standing in front of the desk office with her hands cuffed behind her back when La Clementa came up from behind her and kicked her legs, causing her to fall to the floor. Yeah, I would beat the shit out of this son of a bitch. Her attorneys state, La Clementa, and again, these foreign motherfuckers are worse than white people half the damn time. They're worse than these Caucasian police half the damn time. Per this damn behavior. They want to be like them so bad, they think if they do some shit like this, they can be accepted. But that's the example that they set. You know, do this and you'll be part of the crew. La Clementa then stood over her and said to get the fuck up, as the other officer stood and watched and failed to intervene, the notice of claim states. In the subsequent assault, the claimant was subjected to an unlawful and invasive search, according to the, for what? Over a license plate? So y'all were trying to find something to justify the stop? The notice of claim states. After the subsequent assault, the claimant was subject to an unlawful invasive search, according to the notice of claim filed by attorney Eric Sanders. Despite the presence of a female officer, male officers conducted a full body search. That's illegal. Making inappropriate physical contact with her breast, vaginal area, and buttocks, thighs, and other parts of her body. Her pockets were emptied, yet no female officer intervened in the search process. She was charged with improper display of number plates, obstructing governmental administration, resisting arrest. Man, go somewhere and fucking die. Every time these worthless, poorly raised, sister fucking motherfuckers harass black people, they always claim resisting arrest. Man, if they're going to do that anyway, man, I swear to God, man, resist for real. Resist for real. If they're going to cause resisting arrest anyway, make sure you resist for real. Make somebody feel that shit. I fucking mean it. Motherfuckers, they already know better than this shit, man. This is not misunderstanding. This is a bunch of ignorant bastards not giving a fuck. And a bunch of people that look just like them in this country that don't give a damn. That's why nothing changes. You better protect your goddamn self. As I'm reading this, you think any damn body that doesn't look like us gives a goddamn? You know what they're saying? Why don't you just comply? There wouldn't be a problem if you didn't do anything. Just don't break the law. Ha, ha, ha. January 6th, motherfuckers break the law. Did those ignorant bastards get killed like they were supposed to? Nope. Just one stupid bitch got killed. That's it. What are y'all trying to do? Make up for the whistles? You blow 2 whistles, nothing happened. He didn't even have an opportunity to do something right there. What the fuck are y'all doing? Trying to make up for something? Get out the game, man. You can't just randomly call fouls on motherfuckers for fighting for goddamn position, dude. The fuck out of here with that shit. I digress. Let me get back to this stupid shit. Did I finish? These ignorant motherfuckers. And disorderly conduct, but a judge dismissed the charges under an adjournment in contemplation of dismissal, which means they can be refiled if she gets arrested again within 6 months. So a judge has dismissed all this bullshit. They bothered her over a license plate, and because she didn't kiss their ass or didn't smile, she got roughed up and arrested. And again, if this was somebody that didn't have means or had any other charges, this shit would have been justified in the eyes of the police department and most white people. Or bastardized versions of white people that think they're white. And again, those nice 2 little quick fouls on the inside man right there, that helped. That helped. I guess they feel they got to even up the foul numbers now. That was interesting. Just battling for position, there's no need to call that. That was unnecessary, but I digress. Clutch shot. And again, that's more bullshit. Honestly, that wasn't a foul. Good layup, but dude, you might as well have got out the way. I could have told you that was going to blow the whistle then. You might as well have moved. I could have told you that was going to blow the whistle then. Didn't like that 3, ball never moved. Hey, dude, if you're going to slap his arm, you got to foul him. What was that stupid shit? If you're going to foul somebody, foul him. Now they get to show a highlight of somebody they like. Look how long they keeping the camera on this motherfucker. Hey, man, when you foul somebody, foul them, goddammit. I know that's delayed, whatever. We got one more Cow Award, but before I get to that one, and we have one officer, Lieutenant Daniel LaClementa. The NYPD and Lieutenant Daniel LaClementa. Again, this is why we always say,
I don't like fucking cops. You will be discarded in the prisons of hell. I don't like fucking cops. You will be discarded in the prisons of hell.
you might not win in a tough field, but you will be recognized.
Jury has found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread, chicken shit motherfucker.
Bastardized version or not, we have one more cow, late edition. And the last cow also comes from Sluggo, and it reads as follows. Additional cow from Sluggo. It says the Duke Blue Devils were the favorite to win the national championship in this year's edition of the men's NCAA basketball tournament. However, the Blue Devils were stunned by a miraculous comeback from the Houston Cougars in the Final Four. Houston ended the game on a 9-0 run to win the game 70-67, but the ending wasn't without controversy. Duke star was called for an extremely questionable over-the-back foul that proved costly. Now, one prominent member of the sports media, Spear, is wondering if DEI may be the reason for the call. Here's the intended consequence of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Typical bad call by a ref. I see it. Chalk it up to bad officiating because of DEI and constant race focus. I see it and wonder about the black ref who made the bogus call on the white kid. And this comes from Wisdom Tooth-Shaped Bitch-Ass Whitlock. Last cow nomination from the great Sluggo. Let's say here. Bitch Lock, you're not going to win in a tough field just because it was a tough field, but black people that behave in this manner shouldn't be able to roam amongst us like it's okay. Black people that behave in this manner should not be able to roam amongst us like it's okay. Apologizing every time the police murder us, smiling about it, laughing with white people. When Serena Williams was at the top of her game and the media was comparing her to all of the white players that did not compare, the only person that compared was her sister. That's it. None of the rest of them ever competed with her. And the only thing that fat motherfucker had to say was Serena Williams needs to lose some weight. He's completely worthless. I don't know what raised him. I don't know what ninja took his girlfriend. I don't know what ninja whooped him when he was a kid or whooped his mom. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with that worthless son of a bitch. But that is the extreme case of what happens to you in this country. If you pay attention to what gets you far, that is the extreme case of a lost ninja. And unfortunately, there is no shortage of black people willing to do shit like that. Completely and totally worthless. He should not be allowed to walk amongst us. And truth be told, he deserves a lot more than words. Bitch ass Whitlock, you won't win in a tough field, but your worthless, bastardized version of a white male ass will be recognized. And this qualifies for you.
Jury has found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread, chicken shit motherfucker.
You will be discarded in the prisons of hell.
The firefighter who shared the photos of the dead black teens and the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Very close to winning. Very close to winning. Again, dismissing the death of 2 black teens on a fucking mountain when they had a flight. Here they go with this shit. Here these motherfuckers go with this shit. Here they go with this shit. They had a flight to go out of town. They're found dead on a mountain, and you fix your mouth to call it a murder-suicide. A murder-suicide. And a volunteer firefighter, again, in a country that tells him things like this are okay, is just a couple of dead ninjas. Of course I can take pictures and be stupid enough to actually share it on social media, not even keep it to myself to show it to my inbred ass family. I'm going to put it out here for everybody to see. But again, why wouldn't he think that's okay? Look how you motherfuckers act when things concern us. You're not going to win in a tough field. But everybody involved should know what it feels like to have close relatives killed and have it dismissed as a goddamn murder-suicide. You deserve a lot more than being fired. And the investigators trying to quickly wrap this up as a murder-suicide should know what it feels like to have loved ones leave this place and have people not do their due diligence. You didn't win in a tough field, but you will be recognized.
You will be discarded in the prisons of hell.
Jury has found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread, chicken shit motherfucker.
It wasn't a good shot. It was in and out, but that was not a good shot. You forced that one. Same way you forced that shit. Bailed you out right then. Get a good shot right here, man. You're not going to make them all, but get a good look. My apologies. The Winter Haven police officers who held a black woman and her child at gunpoint. The lack of sensitivity when the people are different. No, fuck that. When it's black people. When it's a non-white individual, when it's a certain neighborhood, these people are taught and or believe that certain behavior and treatment is okay. What the fuck just happened? I know going the other way, that ain't good. They're taught and they believe that certain behaviors are okay. They would not commit these type of acts in certain neighborhoods and certain surroundings. It should not be okay because they believe they're in a, quote, danger area, or they believe there might have been something that happened. The only thing that happened was brandishing a gun. Now, the foreign store owner or Caucasian gun owner that called the police, or Asian, I've dealt with it. I've had an Asian store owner act in a manner where I really wanted to jerk him from behind the counter and knock him the fuck out. And I literally had to tell him, it's interesting that a non-English speaking motherfucker like you comes over here and attempts to treat me worse than a white person. Ugh. Get a shot out of this. There was no reason to rush that. That was so goddamn stupid. Why in God's name did you rush that shot? Why in God's name? There was no need. I apologize. Back to the cows. The Winter Haven police officers that held a black woman and a 3-year-old child at gunpoint. The officers should have their family members be treated the exact same way. It's the only way they're going to understand. Because in their mind, it's justified when they're doing their job, when it's completely unnecessary, especially once you establish that somebody that wasn't involved is not armed. You have to calm that shit down, because the worst crime that was committed was maybe brandishing a gun. And again, this is on the word of somebody calling, and we don't know what was said by that motherfucker. I don't know both sides of it, but I know foreigners act real funny. Some of them are worse than the whites. And I'm saying that about the worst of them, and they exist. We saw January 6th. We see who's in office, and the same dumb motherfuckers are crying about it. But a lot of these motherfucking bastardized versions of them are even worse than they are. So I don't know what happened, but I know that reaction was too much. And again, you won't understand till it happens to somebody you care about. You won't win in a tough field, but you will be recognized.
I don't like fucking cops.
Jury has found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread, chicken shit motherfucker.
The Cow Award this week goes to the NYPD, and especially Lieutenant Daniel LaClamita. LaClamita, and I'm probably fucking that up, but Lieutenant Daniel LaClamita, who cursed out, assaulted A lot of whistles now at this point in the game. A lot of whistles. Did they hit number 5 with another one? That wasn't a foul. That's a terrible call. If they called a foul on him, that's complete and utter bullshit. You even waited at that point. I don't know, man. That's a little rough. That's a quick one. And I apologize. The Kyle Award goes to the NYPD. Their reputation precedes them. And Lieutenant Daniel Laclametta. Simply put, now I'd imagine everybody was involved in the assault, so I'm going to include every officer, but especially Lieutenant Daniel Laclametta. Deserves to have his ass beat senseless. Fired from ever being a police officer again. And whatever female is in his life that he cares about, he should watch that happen to them. And this is because that's the only way that motherfucker's going to understand. Because I guarantee you right now, that individual feels like they didn't do anything wrong. And they're empowered by an ignorant-ass police department that only cares about not getting sued, as opposed to doing the right thing or punishing those that don't do the right thing. Aggression only respects equal and greater aggression. The time for talking is and has been over for a very, very long time. Lieutenant Daniel Laclametta and the NYPD, fuck you, fuck, god damn. Good shot, but you got to finish. Fuck you, fuck the people that defend your bullshit. Fuck every police department that backs you up and claims and plays victim when you're held accountable for your damn actions. And the game is going real shitty right about now. It's going to be something down the stretch. It's going to be something down the stretch. This shit's a hell of a lot closer than it needs to be. But that's what happens when you get a few bad shots in. Get about 2 or 3 or 4 good foul calls in a row. Changes things. They're going to have to execute. Motherfuckers have been through worse. That's just a good shot. Just everything prior to that. I know I'm all over the place. I apologize. But let me wrap up this last cow. Aggression only respects equal and greater aggression. Some woman that you care about in your life should be called a bitch and thrown to the ground, kicked to the ground, mistreated and assaulted, probed by another fucking man when a female officer is around just because you're trying to justify an unlawful arrest because you probably didn't like the way that she talked to you. You should be taken off the planet, actually. It's the only way that things like this are going to stop. And again, if you're more offended by my words than his actions, that's the goddamn problem. Fuck you, fuck the air you breathe, you are the colonizer of the week.
I don't like fucking cops.
Jury has found you guilty of being a redneck, white bread, chicken shit motherfucker.
You will be discarded in the prisons of hell.
White people have never been clean. Not now, not ever.
17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
You will be discarded in the prisons of hell. I don't like fucking cops.
Thank you for those Cow Awards, Sluggo. Well deserved, and thank you for the information. And again, these things go on every day, all week, all over the United States, and they're not covered because the people that are doing the coverage don't give a fuck. They're much more offended by black words than there are heinous things. They're much more offended by black words than white actions. But there have been several lynchings. This seems like another lynching to me. They had a plane ticket to go elsewhere. They were killed on a fucking mountain. And you're talking about a goddamn murder-suicide. And you got a firefighter taking pictures of it. Okay. Okay. And I don't. That should have been a Cold Cow Award. Maybe I should have given it to all the motherfuckers, to quote JBJ. But Sluggo said, I think the firefighter had something to do with it. Quite possibly. Sydney said, this screams lynching. I don't trust these Nabisco pigs. Neither do I, sir. Sluggo said he allegedly brandished a gun. You can't believe anything the KKK cops say. But it variably or via, but it be it verbally or via a report. Let me say that again. He allegedly brandished a gun. You can't believe anything that the cops say, be it verbally or via a report. And I agree. The cops cannot be trusted in that regard. And again, they always got to say something to justify their behavior, but an argument doesn't warrant that. If he called and said the argument, he pulled a gun on me, that store owner had to lie in some kind of way to get that type of reaction, or he just had to say it was a nigga. Who knows? Who knows? Sluggo said an e-bike. Let that sink in. Hey, Zeus, wow. Come on down and kill. Yeah, really. An e-bike and all of that over an e-bike. That was because you were probably yelling and acting like a bitch for no reason. They didn't kiss your ass, and then you started doing all that shit. And you know why those bitch-ass cops are so tough? Because you can't legally own a gun in New York. And again, that lends to them being worthless bitch motherfuckers. The percentages of an individual having a gun are very low. And the most of the time when you're dealing with that, it's from another white person that's just as fucking crazy as you. That's who's putting the gun on you. We rarely do that shit. Rarely. And you're in a place where guns are fucking illegal. So if somebody pulls it, in all likelihood, they mean to use that motherfucker because it's illegal. The only thing they can do, they're going to be in trouble regardless. And you're acting like this when people can't even have fucking guns? You can't even get them. There are some extreme cases, not extreme cases, but if you got enough money, there are ways around the shit. All they're basically doing is fucking the common person out of it, making life easier for police to harass people and be pieces of shit. And you can say this happened, that happened, they had to do it. How many niggas do police have to kill before they have to do something about that shit? Miss me with that, all that shit. They had to. They haven't done a goddamn thing about these motherfuckers openly killing black people yet. They don't have to do a goddamn thing. That much is obvious. I digress. Let me finish up this chat. Sluggo said they know exactly what they were doing when groping that young lady. Fuck out of here. Yeah, that's policy. No man is supposed. And why are you searching somebody because they didn't have a license on an e-bike? What the fuck are you doing? She shouldn't have been arrested either. No detail in the middle because somewhere some bitch motherfucker wanted their ass kissed. People like that need to be met with the same thing that makes them tough, a firearm. It's the only thing that's going to stop it. Only thing that's going to stop it. Nothing's going to happen to that motherfucker. He's going to win an award at the end of the month. Sydney said Houston got to stop with all these threes. Sluggo laughing at wisdom tooth shape. I mean, well, he is, though. And I agree. Some of these shots are out there. As we get down to the final 7-13. Hey, look, man, appreciate y'all. The little bit that I have left, I'll goddamn with the free throws. The little bit I had left, I'll transfer that to the next show. Gonna watch the rest of this and chill out for the rest of the evening. Appreciate y'all, man. I'll tell you what, since I went severely over, well, you know what, let me quit being lazy. I was gonna say abbreviated outro, but fuck it. Down to the last. Now they just blowing the whistle. That wasn't a foul. That's bullshit. Hey, man, y'all might as well hack people. Now, that's what I hate when they start doing shit like that. That wasn't a foul. You're just blowing the whistle just because. And you haven't been doing that the whole game. That wasn't a foul. Nobody fouled him, man. Y'all got to stop with this whole shit. Y'all got to stop, man. And, dude, if you're going to come in there, you need to foul the motherfucker. What you coming in there with the little shoulder bump for? If you're going to do that shit, foul the motherfucker. I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Thank you for the back and forth. I consider it to be therapeutic, which makes all of you my de facto therapists. Abbreviated outro, man. I'm going to get on out of here. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for the back and forth. enjoy the final 6 minutes or so of this championship game. Hopefully Houston starts to play smarter ball and takes better shots. So many forced ass shots, but again, Florida's getting fouls for any type of bump. How come I need Houston to get those and Jay in that situation? That was another occasion of y'all trying to, damn, good shot with nobody up under there. That was another occasion of y'all trying to get a flop right there, JBJ. See, dude went in for the shot and kicked his neck back and did all that bullshit. That's the little shit y'all do I can't fucking stand. Little shit like that. Good shot. All right, you got to play ball now. Me double check the chat room and appreciate y'all, man. Abbreviated outro. I'm out this piece. Check out the rest of this game. As always, take care and be easy. But before I get out, I will say, let me take a shot for Pop. R.I.P. DT. As always, I will take a shot for Pop. R.I.P. DT. Appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all no later next Monday. It will be a somewhat, maybe probably the day before I'll let you know if I do an extra show this week. Won't promise it because I've missed on the last 3. It hasn't happened. So if I do a bonus show this week, I'll let you know the day before. Appreciate y'all. And as always, be easy.